get ready to send Goober's memes.
Hello everyone, and immediately I remember that I have messed up because I arranged cameras, but then cameras moved.
Brother.
So give me a second here, and I will fix them.
Brother.
That's down there. That's over there. Oh, that's me. I shouldn't move me.
Brother. Brother, I'm in the
You're
wrong
over
spot,
there.
brother.
You are down there. And
Brother, where art thou?
how did
Move into the right spot, brother. Surprise! George Clooney is appearing on our TTRPG.
That'd be the perfect moment for PJ to whip out his perfect George Clooney impression. Go.
Good job. You got this.
It's just a guy, you know.
Okay. Okay, everyone is in the right
love that
positions
movie.
now. Good.
What are you laughing at? That was fucking pitch perfect. Bro.
So,
It's me, George Clooney.
hello everyone, and welcome back to Fallen. You guys,
Hi.
you guys collect yourselves. It's cool.
Brothers.
So because we are very slightly late, I'm going to go do a very quick intro, and then we're going to get back into Fallen. The very quick intro is to let you know we now have super chats. Apparently we didn't. I wasn't aware of that. So if
Hey, there it is. I was wondering
Yeah.
last time. I was like, I couldn't see it. Okay.
apparently it was turned off or in my options, which I was not aware of because the last time I did gaming streams ages and ages back, people just randomly super chatted me, and I was like, oh, thanks. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah. We didn't have super chats, but we did have a super chat.
We did.
Grown.
So if you are not a patron and you don't like subscriptions and like monthly stuff, but you still want to support the channel and you still want to encourage us to do these things, I don't know why you would, but if you do, you can throw in a super chat. Feel free to leave a message for any of the cast or even myself, and we will answer them at the end as we do our outro. Aside from that, there is the Patreon, there is the website, and I am planning other things, but I am slowly building up to them. If you are a Patreon, consider coming over to the Discord. We play games occasionally now, because I remembered to do that. There was a free weekend on Victoria 3. Oh, we got our first super chat.
Brother.
It
I
has...
have a mighty need for more DACA.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Hey.
Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Goobers. So yes, that is now a thing. Yeah, there was a free weekend on Victoria 3, and I was like, hey, come and join me playing Victoria 3, and we will try and learn the game. It's a grand strategy paradox game, so you can imagine how that went, but I learned a few things. And yes, past that, other things coming up. 6 more episodes. Oh, it's not 6 more episodes. Including this one, 5 more episodes of Fallen, and then we take a break for Christmas and New Year's, and then we'll come back with another show. I'm not panicking about what that show is going to be. Don't ask me about that. I have some plans, which we'll get into. But yes. Is there anything else I need to talk about?
My emotional support Trazin.
Yes. Peachy has his emotional support
Ooh, you little
tracing.
Trazen. Oh my god, I love it.
Does he have a window?
He doesn't, but he will have a new plastic. I'm calling it now. New plastic being announced
there's gonna be.
in a month at least.
Okay, screw it. Aside from that, yeah, that's pretty much it. So in our last episode of Fallen, Maraban, the apothecary, they're called apothecaries, right? I'm not being crazy.
Yep. Yeah, you're
My brain went fantasy, and I was like, what, like a potion seller? That doesn't sound very 40k.
Just
How many
forgotten
times
40K.
during in like 40k things you hear them like say something and it's just like regicide instead of chess, and you're just like, is that real? Am I making that up? Is Games Workshop making that up? Who's making this up? Like,
Commissar,
Do I go to
here.
the Toiler or the Bogificus?
Oh, by the way, before we
Purgatory.
started, I wanted to share something with you guys that I don't know if I told you guys this, but the day that we announced this show on Twitter, well, the night before then, I had a dream that was the most appropriate dream for this in the world. And it was too perfect that I forgot I wanted to share it first episode. I want to share it now. I apparently, in this dream, was a commissar. And I was a commissar, which is already like, ooh. But I was the commissar on some Imperial planet that was being attacked by Tyranids. And we're on this planet, and I am yelling to the general public / Imperial Guard, not really sure which, and I am screaming this rousing speech, just like, citizens of the Imperium, do what must be done for your God Emperor, do not run in fear. And I remember having this speech in my head. I'm like role-playing in my sleep, preparing for the show that is about to be announced. And I wake up, because you guys are on a different time zone than me, I wake up to the tweet already out there, and I'm like, all right, it was foretold, let's go. So there you go. I definitely had a dream that I was a commissar. I think it was just preparing me to be,
nice
here
to have
on this
Sanguinius on the show live. His visions.
You say Sanguinius, but it could be Kurz. We're not sure.
We know it's
We're not sure yet. He's a psyker, get him.
Are you sanctioned?
Anyway, I just wanted to share that before we get started. Oh, God.
Yes. So, Maraban, Apothecary, was in a... Oh, God, what are they called? They're called repentance boxes or something like that, aren't they? Was in essentially a little box that replayed all of the failures and deaths of the chapter and all these battles that didn't go that well, and was in there for being punished, which is why he was in there, being forced to relive all these things.
I let the gene seed get away.
Yeah.
Bad. That was a bad Space Marine.
It didn't run off or anything.
It just grew legs.
But yes, and was let out a little bit early to join a squad led by Sergeant Tykar, who is essentially has been tasked by the chapter master, the Grand Master, to go forth into the sector, find an Inquisitor who apparently has some information that they need to nail down about a wayward brother, let's call it. Possibly a traitor. I think everyone knows enough about the Dark Angels that we don't need to be coy about it. A fallen angel.
The show is literally called Fallen. I think that's out of the bag.
That's true. A fallen Dark Angel, one who has to some degree turned traitor, maybe even turned chaos, and he is going to be joined by a brother Nephir, who is a chaplain, interrogator chaplain in training, and also Morakan, who is possibly, there's arguments about whether he is a White Scar or a Space Wolf. Just, that's a joke. He's neither of those things. He is a member of the Angelus.
Fidelis Angelus.
Fidelis Angelus.
There you go.
Yes.
Angelus, right? We gotta
Which-
say Angelus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise, it sounds really a little weird.
From Los Angeles.
I take responsibility for that, guys. By the way, like the chapter name where it's like Fidelis Angelus, yay!
It just from Los Angeles makes it sound like they're like a basketball team, like
Yeah,
a B or a minor league. Like,
The
welcome to
Space
Court
Lakers.
Fidelis Angelus.
Morcam with some
Space
aggressive
Marines
play
hitting
yet
threes
again.
out there.
Morcan ripped the head off another competitor, but it was on his own team.
And then
dropped a
and then
sick
airballed the. He tried to shoot the ball and airballed it. And
Yeah. He's an Alpha Legion. Get him. All right, calm down then.
What? The good guys?
Peachy just starting fires in the comments. I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Sorry, I just saw the comment that just came up, which is Pruge the Alpha. I think it was supposed to be Purge, but
Pruge the Alpha.
Pruge them.
him.
Pruge the Heretic.
This is a pruging stream now, everybody.
Apologies, Zach. But yes, so the squad, which is made up of around about, I believe, 9 or I think it's 10 or 11, including the chaplain, have been tasked with traveling through the sector and assisting or seeming like they're assisting the Imperium. Like, their job is to assist them, but it's basically the second we hear word of where this Inquisitor is, you have to pick up sticks, regardless of what's happening, go immediately there and go and find out where this fucking Fallen is, and either capture him or kill him or do something, do bad things to him.
What was the name of the Inquisitor again?
The Inquisitor's name.
If we know
Don't
that.
think we knew yet.
No,
Okay,
it was.
If we don't know that, then yeah, don't worry about it.
It was an inquisitorial agent, so it may not be an Inquisitor. It
Got it.
could just be an agent of the Inquisitor. I'm going to ignore chat right now.
Sorry, get the heavy pruger.
The Pruger brother. The heavy Pruger.
Yes, Tim, this is live. We're doing Space Marine shit live for your entertainment.
This one. There will be more recorded content. I'm very much a fan of the edited shows as well, but I do want to maintain live shows as well. So this is a live stream, it turns out. Okay, so sorry, I need to keep my... And they are given a strike cruiser with a captain and a crew, and they're essentially being ferried around the area, around the sector, to hotspots, to places where the Imperium is in need of help, specifically Astartes help, or just assistance in general, as essentially cover for why they're actually in the area. The only ones who are in the know of this is the Sergeant Tykar, and the Chaplain, Brother Nephil, who he's a aspirant interrogator chaplain, so I'm not sure he's actually a full chaplain. Sorry, that was me.
Oh, he's just
misspeaking.
right there. He's so very close.
He's
so very close.
he's getting very, very close to being a chaplain.
Complicated and special case.
And where we saw our Astartes last, they had just landed on the Harkton 4, where some PDF were engaged with orcs in a standoff. They were in the PDF were in trenches. The orcs were in these little this little kind of makeshift metallic fort on the edge of a hill, and the Astartes, the Fidelis Angelus, came. I'm just gonna rewire my brain with that as much as I can until I can say it naturally.
Oh my god.
Come down and essentially immediately engage the orcs, and we had a little bit of them smashing some orcs. That's where we left off, so that's where we will rejoin. So I believe we were on this last time. So, the camera fades in and pans back down over 2 or 3 drop pods, Astartes drop pods that have impacted onto the ground, left a crater, and regurgitated these Astartes onto the battlefield. And this current moment in time, you are all in a tight formation around the drop pods, with orcs pouring out, and you have just started to engage the ones at the front. The ones at the vanguard have just started to get into range of melee. I believe Morakan and
Morakil.
Morakil, I was going to say Morakai, thank you. Morakil are wielding their heavy weapons, heavy plasma gun, heavy plasma cannon, and heavy bolter for Morakan, and basically kind of cutting a swath through. Nephir, I believe, domed one with the... Is that correct?
No, I'm just using my bolt gun for now. Yeah, because my Crozius is still locked up.
Maraban is helping to cover and shot through the head.
Yep.
I believe Sergeant Tykar, you impaled one and then shot it through the dome with your bolt pistol.
Tykar pulled some fucking badass shit, walked out and went.
Had more
"Shoot
important
now."
things to do than deal with this orc.
Yeah.
Just had to be put down.
It was fucking awesome.
6.
And so, this is what we rejoin to, with some dust swirling around you and the shouts of the orcs as they sweep towards you. Morakan and Morakil have just kind of like turned around and started laying down some fire in that direction. I assume, Sergeant Tykar, you would kind of trust your guys to just get into an essentially a firing line, a squad formation to like meet the charge.
Yeah, after stepping out, clearing, and setting everyone to start to secure a beachhead, I'm probably just setting up the comms.
Yeah.
And arranging them into teams where they are currently on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And waiting for a report on if the beachhead is secured yet.
Yeah. In that case, it would be you'd hear a click in your helmet, and Veteran Scout Sergeant Enkdil would say, "Sergeant Tykar, we have all landed and exited the craft successfully, sir."
Copy. Clear the LZ.
Yes, sir. And the Space Marines, the Astartes, kind of not exactly pair up, but start kind of spreading out from the initial landing point. Obviously, firing bolters, and advancing towards where these orcs are coming down towards you. My question will be is, where does everyone place themselves? I'm assuming that Morakan and Morakil will essentially hold where they are, like braced, to kind of provide supporting fire.
I'm always inching my way to make sure I'm just a fucking inch ahead of Morakil.
Yeah.
And it may cause us to slowly, weirdly, like move away from everybody a little bit. Right. So just the slightest little amount. So
Okay.
Morrigan, hold your position.
Yeah, Sergeant. He just kind of makes a motion to show like I am not moving.
Yeah.
I grab Radius, one of our attack marines, the one I know to be good with a sword.
Yeah.
And I bring him with me, so we're up next to the brothers Otar. Just so if anyone gets close, I know a guy who's really good with close stuff's going to protect the guys with the big guns.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, I'm the additional backup for those two, just so we've got our heavy weapons secured.
And when you do, you kind of like just click through on the headset inside your helmet, and he nods and like unsheathes this fairly ornate, like old looking And as we all know in 40k, older is better.
Absolutely.
Ornate looking like chainsword, which he revs up, and then you both kind of like kind of crunch over to the brothers. Maraban, seeing as you're the apothecary, I'm assuming you don't tend to get directly into the crunch of things.
No, I'm staying back and then kind of watching the brothers because they're the biggest target. So it's like if anyone's going to get injured or attacked, it's likely them.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of trying to support them while supporting the rest of the squad. But it's like, I don't want my squad mates to get capped, shot or taken out. So I'm just trying to support them from the back.
As a sidebar, there are some littered orc and what looks like PDF bodies. Some of them are recognizable, some of them are like, that might be a foot, I don't know. Kind of around this area, but you don't, with a quick kind of sweep, you don't notice any kind of movement or life signs. The assumption would be is all of these people out here have been shot and killed or exploded and killed, etc.
Yeah.
Sergeant Tykar, you're gonna have the Tech Marine, Datian, and Warrior, Rodart, and Corian, along with Cassian, the veteran Scout Sergeant. As you are issuing orders, those all kind of pull to you. So you now have essentially like two different fire bases. You have one that's formed around you, one that has essentially formed between the twins, with a little bit of like melee defense there as well. And what you now are facing off against is a pretty significant knot of orcs kind of charging forward and firing. Just as you've all been doing this, there has been some very wild fire whizzing past you. An occasional hit to your power armor. It hasn't really registered too much, though, that you're getting shot at. The firing is either pretty crappy in terms of like penetrative ability, and is also pretty wild. So, I think
I would like to make it canon that whenever there's a stray fire, at least one time, Mordecai gets hit in the head. Just kind of and all he does is just
he headbutts the bullet as he sees it coming close.
He kind of leans into it, just fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
This is how you got your metal plate.
At some appropriate point in this show, Morrican will headbutt an enemy bullet back into their own skull.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that. Headbutt bullets. But yes, as they're charging forward, and Morrican, you squeeze down on the trigger and just kind of like do a short, almost I'd say about like 25 degrees, like sweep with your gun as the ground is kicked up around these orcs, and some of them are impacted with these heavy bolt rounds, which will like blow apart rib cages, like leave massive holes in them, like heads disintegrate. However, a significant portion of the horde that's kind of just charging towards the line peel off and start heading towards you and your twin and Nephir and who was the other one who went with?
I was back here.
Radius Lazaril. Yeah. And the rest of the larger majority are heading towards Sergeant Tykar and the drop pods. As this is happening, the scout sergeant kind of kneels down. He has a scoped what's it called? Is it a vengeance bolter?
I have no idea what that's called.
It's essentially a slightly more long range bolter rifle that's semi-automatic. It's more about precision than about laying down fire. Snaps off a few shots, and as he does, you hear the whistle and whoosh of some ordnance flying over your head. I'd say at the very least, Sergeant Tykar, you recognize this. Having worked with Imperial forces like Imperial Guard before, you recognize this as essentially light mortars, maybe a couple of rockets, kind of RPG style missile launchers. And as they fly over your heads and kind of impact into the mountain, the orcs charging towards you are nicely and cinematically like silhouetted by this kind of bursting of flames. What is the next step you guys take?
Okay. Well, first of all,
Brother Cassian, find me a war boss. Brother Datian, I want to hold this up now. I want to see the battlefield.
and then I'm going to try and get through to the commissar of it was the PDF, right?
Yes. And you would have been given the com. You'd have been essentially patched into the comms for the PDF as you were being deployed.
Commissar, this is Sergeant Tyker.
Takes a second, half second, and you receive a link through saying, yes, did you say Sergeant Tyker? Sergeant Tyker, yes. This is Commissar... Commissar Vestaine Krolt.
Commissar, I would like you to cease all mortars on sector G and F.
Received, sir.
And concentrate around your boys, around the main section of the gates.
Yes, Sergeant. We will adjust fire immediately.
Copy.
And yeah, I'm going to wait for Datian to set up the hololith and see if Cassian can find me a war boss.
Okay. Cassian, like you get a quick nod from him. Obviously, like he doesn't have a helmet on, being a scout. He kind of slips away to the side, taking a few more shots as he goes. The rest of you, let's have a roll. Could I please have a ballistic skill from everyone?
What's the highest rating you can have?
Ooh,
let's see here. All right.
Oh my god. I got 6 6s.
Holy shit, dude. What the hell?
Jesus.
Yo. All right. 1, 2, 2. Sixes count as 2, right?
yes. I believe. Yes. May. Yes. I'm honestly unsure a little bit.
Okay. That's okay. Rolling is just a suggestion on this show.
We don't have a roll from Sergeant Tyker. If you could.
What am I rolling? Sorry,
ballistic
ballistics.
skill,
Shoot.
Probably not shooting, to be honest. I've cleared where I need to clear.
Okay.
And I'm basically in Gilliman mode at the moment.
I'll roll a shoots again if you'd like.
No, it's
Absolutely. Every time.
Morrican, fire twice for me.
I'll roll a couple of. That's kind of basic Space Marine stats. Okay, pretty good. So I would say, yes. As the orcs are charging forward, it is a pretty much continuous volley of fire that just like the front rank of them as they charge just kind of gets mowed down. You know, limbs are blown off, heads are destroyed, and they go tumbling down as they're got their axes and their guns kind of blazing. By the time the first rank has gone down, the next rank of orcs, the next group of orcs are following right behind. But they barely get that much further before they too are just cut down by bolt of fire. The discipline the concentration and the fact that their return fire just is not particularly effective means that you're able to pour on enough fire and you're accurate enough that every time a line of them, a group of them is able to move past the last one, they too get hit almost immediately and fall down.
Holy fuck.
To the point where you have essentially find yourselves all with these like smoking barrels and like big ejected bolter cartridges all around your feet, and there is a little bit of silence on the battlefield for a second until some mortar fire flies over your head and like impacts along the kind of the edge of this. It's not really a fort, to be honest. It's literally just some spiky metal bits that are protecting from fire. Almost like a trench on a hill, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
And these impact, and you get a report, I would say, probably from... well, would any of you three report back to Tykar, essentially saying area clear?
Yeah, I'll just report it. Brother Sergeant, we have secured the landing area. We've held off the current wave, it seems.
Copy. We're trying to find the biggest, baddest target on the battlefield.
We'll hold position.
You also receive, probably a few seconds after that, a comm through from the Scout Sergeant, Enkdil, who says, Sergeant Tykar, there is movement in the Orc Redoubt. I have not managed to acquire a target such as a war boss. This may just be an outpost.
Well, this is good news. Brothers, extend the LZ. 200 feet.
Markan just leans back and just kind of like, yes, sir. And as he starts to move and kind of like, you know, get into a better position and maybe like splitting, maybe me and Morikil kind of split. We're still like the closest to each other, but like we're now moving apart as everybody else is.
Apart as the line moves forwards and spreads out.
As he does that, he goes, sir, one of the things that we always did, well, if you don't mind, listen, if you're looking for the war boss, we've legitimately found one where you just listen for the loudest yelling.
I will take your suggestion on board, Morrican.
Of course, sir, anything to help. And then he just laser focuses back up.
And
Does that make
Like, he's an idiot, but he knows how to fight.
yeah.
So I will actually take that on board.
He's an idiot, so that gives them, you know, some insight onto the intellect of
The orcish brain.
Yeah.
Morrican, where would you stand?
So, is Morrican a war boss then? No.
What happens next is as that comm over to the sergeant from Morrican cuts out and finishes, there is a fairly large like whoa from the kind of like let's call it a barricade, metal barricade, which is promptly, even though it's been hit a couple of times by mortars, it's still standing technically until it is smashed down, kind of like rolls down this hill, probably about, oh god, I'm not amazing at distance, it's probably about like 30-40 meters away from you, rolling down to the bottom of this hill, revealing not only that it seems to be like a cave that goes into this hill, it also reveals the things that knocked it over, which is a slightly, I'm not going to say small because it's still quite large, but a slightly small kind of like metal contraption. It kind of looks like it's a killer can. It's essentially a Gretchen in there. It's like a mini dreadnought, and a larger version, which is an actual orc dreadnought, which has like buzzing saws, and it has this flamer that it like kind of fires around. And
immediately Morrican's just like, oh
no! At the same time that Morrican brings up his heavy bolter to bear, he hears over from Morrikiel, his twin's position, the telltale of the plasma cannon charging up. And I'm going to ask specifically Morrican, which one are you shooting at?
The bigger one? Are you kidding me?
We knew that was coming.
100% the bigger one.
Okay. In that case, could you please give me a ballistic skill?
Yes.
And let's give you a 2 bonus die on that.
Okay, bonus die 1, 2, and here we go.
Okay. So both the Killer Can and the Dreadnought start crunching down this hill. A little bit, quickly actually, because they're not great at slopes. And I think most likely the Killer Can especially probably tumbles a couple of times and rolls and then gets back up and starts carrying on. The Dreadnought, the larger one, is pinged with multiple heavy bolter rounds that kind of explode off it, and as it's making its way down, it seems to kind of like gets a bit not straddled. What's the word? Staggered. It seems to get a bit staggered by the repeated hits. You hit it a fair amount. Obviously, there's lots of misses and everything. It is a fully automatic, very quick weapon. I would say the thing that really does for it is the massive hole put in it by a plasma round that impacts directly on its core chassis and goes straight through it.
Oh shit!
And
wait, did you roll for Morkiel?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
And as that happens, you hear this click in your ear in your helmet, and your twin brother's voice just says, "Mine."
Of course. Still only counts as one.
And as that is happening, the Killer Can has gotten to the base and is kind of like charging forward. A few, I would say, probably about 20 remnant orcs kind of charge out behind them as the Dreadnought falls. I think about 5 or 6 peel off and start running back up into the hill. As this is happening, you do hear a report kind of like forward and to the side of you, kind of up the hill a little bit maybe, or up the incline a little bit, as a couple of them are picked off. I'm just gonna question is, what do you want to leave that the last of the Killer Can to the heavy weapons troopers, or are you gonna move forward to engage?
Those that are with the heavy weapons guys?
Just essentially the squad in general. Currently, you're spread out in a firing line. The amount of damage that the orcs have taken coming out, the fact that some of them have run away, this is essentially, at this point, this is a done deal that you're going to destroy them. They don't have the weapons. Their Dreadnought just got fucking bodied by some pretty heavy fire. A Killer Can and like 15 or so orcs isn't gonna do much against you at this point. So, I'll tell you what. Instead, seeing as this is a done deal at this point, narrative goes over to you guys. As the orcs are charging towards you, do you move forward? Do you move into close combat? Do you start taking shots, taking out the orcs? Like, please feel free to describe how you kill the Killer Can and the remnants of this orca assault, or well, technically defense, but
Maraban's back a little bit, obviously kind of watching the ways and just like he feels like he hasn't done enough yet, so he pulls out a frag grenade and tosses it at the killer can.
Okay.
just trying to like take it out or take all the buddies around and let it I'm picturing it like the frag grenade going off and just like blowing the legs off or like just fucking up the legs bad
I
enough
have
that
a really nerdy, stupid question.
Yeah.
Is it a
Yes.
frag grenade or a crack grenade?
it says both on my inventory, so I don't know the difference between a frag and a
So-
crack
Crack would be
grenade.
for armor.
Okay, then a crack grenade, and then would probably be
I'm
okay.
Sorry, I'm a nerd.
No,
No,
it's-
okay.
That's
Dude,
that's the kind of question I'm here for.
Actually,
Well, yeah.
So-
I was like, does he
No.
know what he's doing,
No.
or is he just like pouring damage down?
that was exactly the question I was about to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Oh,
So I didn't know
okay,
that.
I feel better.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So it's a crack
Excellent.
grenade. Yeah, and just tear the fucking armor off the walking can, and just
Yeah.
and then he's just like,
Just satisfactory, like, cocks the
Yeah.
ball gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just opened up a can of whoop ass.
Brother.
When the explosion goes off and the other ones like probably start to scatter, I'll continue moving forward with my bolt gun and like shoot them down as they're running. And
Yeah.
I'll say to my brothers, the orc filth does not know fear, but they know death. That is why they run. We will bring them death.
and then hearing that Morrican, hearing that Morrican's got this like you've spoken like twice around him, and he's just like, hell yeah! He continues to shoot, and at one point he runs dry. He's just been shooting constantly,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, hey,
Click,
I
click,
run
click,
over.
click, click.
I run
reload!
over. Brother Morrigan, you can relax. All that remains in the field are corpses.
Very rousing speech, brother. You'll make a good chaplain one day, soon,
Thank
hopefully.
you. I'll report then to Brother Sergeant. It seems the remaining forces have retreated into the cave. Your orders?
Hunt them down.
For the
Morgan
Emperor.
hear this? Does Morgan hear this over the box?
I'm assuming that was broadcast
Yeah.
to all Astartes.
As I say this to everyone, the open channels, I'm just gonna pull out my Calibanite power sword and thumb the thing
Oh,
and
could-
just move towards the swarm of orcs.
Could I take that scene for a second to give it a little? So
a little zhuzh.
as the chaplain in training asks what next, the camera swings over to Sergeant Tykar, who is clumping forwards with his power sword and his bolt pistol. And as the question comes across over the comms, he puts his foot, like stamps it down on a still moving orc who's like, you know, making kind of like noises, and just pulls his bolt pistol up from his hip, one shot in the head, and then says,
Hunt them down.
and you get this like all of the Astartes across the comms say, "Yes, Sergeant," or "For the Emperor," and they start to slowly move forward and towards the cave and the hill.
Can I just really quickly? He hears the hunt them down, and Morkan's reloading right now, and everybody's moving forward, and he's just like, "Come on, reload faster!" And he's like waiting for like a servitor or like one of the chair. Do the Astartes use the cherubs to reload, or is that only sisters?
That's mostly
More
sisters, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so we're just waiting for somebody to help him reload and get something out of the drop pod. Just
And
come on!
Man,
as you're there, like calling for more ammunition so you can like reload the heavy bolter, you hear a little tiny click. Astartes can communicate broadly with each other or specifically with each other. It is Morakil again, and you just hear a small voice say, "This is what happens when you don't rely on precision."
and Bearband's gonna walk Mayorben's gonna walk up to Morkan and be like, "Your brother's getting ahead of you."
He just grabs the fucking the bottom basket of like the bolter. Oh, I guess is the ammo in the backpack on the heavy bolter?
On Imperial Guard and things like that, yes, because it's a lot to carry.
Okay.
So sometimes with heavy bolters and stuff, they actually have 2 of them. One to carry out. With the Astartes, it tends to be a lot more kind of like.
Okay, cool. He just
drums,
grabs it.
usually.
He grabs it and throws it at the drop pod. Like, I'll do it. He goes back and he grabs the magazine and just wham. Let's go.
As you turn around, you can see my power sword as I'm doing the Astartes sprint towards.
Oh
the
yeah,
lords.
yeah. The Astartes sprint. God, that's a.
I'll lead the approach for our grip, and I'll basically like split off so we kind of pincer in towards the cave entrance from Sergeant Tykar's side.
And you, Sergeant, well, everyone hears this, but this is specifically for the Sergeant. There he is. Veteran Scout Sergeant Enkadil radios into you, and he is already at the lip of the cave, kind of going over it, making sure everyone's dead and etc. And he comes over to you and says, "Sergeant,
Copy.
allow me to go in and scout this entrance. It's possible that they are all already dead."
Do so with alacrity, brother.
"Yes, brother." And he immediately slips in as the rest of you move up. Essentially, you take positions around it, but don't enter, just because you heard that conversation. I would say probably about 5 minutes, give or take, a minute or so, you receive another comms back saying, "It appears we have cleansed this nest of all Xenos, sir."
Glory to the Emperor.
Glory to the Emperor.
Brothers, fall back to the LZ.
As you kind of turn around and move back, this is actually kind of funny in a way. You notice that there is someone in commissarial garb standing at the kind of lip top of the trench with a whole load of, like, you see a few helmets, a few people standing up, kind of like staring. The PDF is in trenches, quite crappy trenches, to be honest. They're not even supported by any type of material. It's just about knee high dug, like, mud.
God.
Yeah.
Oh God. What the fuck?
And there appears to be some activity around back there, but all of the PDF and the commissar appear to be hanging back and waiting there. And in actuality, we can probably do away with the action music.
Morkan just sees this as we're walking up, and he's he leans over to Nefir, and he's just like, "Brother, are they attempting to do some sort of a trench maneuver? I'm unsure of what this is. They're so short. Who are those trenches made for?"
It is disappointing that this was all their defense could mount to.
This is a defense? My God.
Merban,
I think I underestimated your eye for tactics, Morrigan.
Merban's gonna look around the battlefield and see if there's anyone who's been needs any kind of assistance, medical assistance.
If I
after
catch
the
you looking
fight.
around, I'll probably say, "Apothecary, I think we're uninjured. We dealt with the orcs quickly. You can relax.
Just
I know
making
you're
sure,
keen
brother.
to prove yourself, but
Yes.
So
We're
we
okay.
took 0 injuries, no, at all.
No,
I got some scuffs on my helmet.
yeah, there's a couple of dinks. There's a couple of dinks on a few pieces of armor, Morrigan's helmet, etc. But
Does Morrigan, when he gets, obviously he just attracts fire, even people not shooting at him
Yeah.
in this instance. Does he like get his armor, like send it to an artificer, or does he just collect all these scars?
That's a really good question.
He gets a crayon out at the end of every battle and writes what the battle was in the dents.
I would say yes. He sends it to an artificer, right? He sends it to an armorer essentially.
So-
and he gets it all taken care of and buffed out. But it's not because he remembers. It's because his brother does it, and he's like, "Oh right." Like
I was-
shit.
I was gonna say, Morakil is the type of Astartes who will take pride in how pristine his armor is.
Yep.
And so Morrican is like, scars of battle, really cool. I look like I've been in the wars. Everyone will think I'm super cool. However, when they both get back from battle, and Morakil comes out with his like pristine, shiny power armor after it's been seen to, Morrican is immediately like, "Oh no, I'm going to be shinier than you, motherfucker." And like,
Competition. It's always a goddamn
Yeah.
competition.
so, I'd say if he could get away with it in his own brain, he'd probably keep some of the dinks and stuff. But
The evidence of Morrican's orcishness is mounting. It's already there. You've had no evidence to the contrary.
if you're an inquisitor, you'd just be like, "Yeah, there's no way to argue against this. Like, this is just."
As we're walking back and walking past up to where like the commissar is and the PDF, what kind of casualties have they been taking?
Looks reasonably heavy. There's signs of possibly heavier weapons, and I will say, like, as you all go across the orcs, it seems like this has maybe been like 2 or 3 days possibly of fighting, whereby it seems like you see a few like the remnants of exploded heavier ordnance, not artillery, not like a mega death cannon or anything, but just heavy enough weapons that it's kept their heads down, and you know, kind of.
But they were lucky we showed up, for sure.
I mean, I would say, probably Sergeant Tykar, maybe Morrican. Like, you can tell that they would have won this. It's just they wouldn't have been able to win this without heavy casualties. And it looks from like a beginning, just like a kind of vague overlook of it. It looks like they had. You can see like the remnants of a couple of trucks and maybe a chimera, and a couple of sentinels as well. So,
What are the Sentinels? I don't know that one.
sentinels are walkers. They're like scout walkers. Like,
ATS.
The Imperial Guard ones?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
This PDF had some game, so they would have won by attrition.
They would have probably won by repeatedly weathering orc attacks until there weren't enough orcs to really do anything, and
Stand
then
their
they
guard.
yeah. It's either throw numbers at the problem or hold and take as few casualties as possible until you can throw numbers at them. So yeah, I'd say reasonably heavy casualties.
In that case, I will walk up to the commissar.
Who immediately sign of the Aquila.
I will bash my chest Aquila.
Yeah.
Did any of the guards like flinch when you do that because of the fucking ring that would have just
The ceramite just
like
I will attend the sergeant. I'll be next to him.
So Sergeant and are you wearing your chaplain helm, or are you just regular?
No, not
Okay.
yet. Just my regular him.
Cool. I just had to check because, you know, obviously that gives a whole different vibe.
bones.
Walks up to the commissar who says, Lord Astartes, welcome to Hakten. Your presence is very appreciated, sir.
Commissar, we apologize for stealing your glory. Go with the Emperor. And then I just turn away and lead the entire group without acknowledging anything that just happened.
Yeah.
But I apologize for stealing his glory because they were gonna win and they've obviously been in a proper fight. They weren't fucking about.
Mm-mm.
But we just kind of solved it in a couple of minutes. But that's what we're here to do.
That's
So
what we do.
that's what we do. But I'm not here to stand on ceremony and thanks and blessings from humans.
And as the rest of the Astartes kind of form up and start following Sergeant Tykar, the Commissar whips around and starts shouting things along the lines of like, "What are you waiting for? Start getting packed up. We've got to be ready to move," and so on and so forth. Stow that gear. Get that loaded onto the trucks. As you can see, there are a couple of kind of further back in I'm not going to say a thicket, but essentially there's some rocks, there's some trees, enough cover where it's away from the battlefield. There's a few kind of trucks, there's a couple of sentinels as well, and a chimera as well. Just as a sidebar for anyone...
Is there a full command chimera?
It's not a command chimera, it's like a regular transport chimera with
Still cool, just not as cool.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, the PDF are separate from the Imperial Guard. PDF are like Planetary Defense Force. They do still use Imperial equipment and stuff. Priority goes to the Imperial Guard, but they tend to have las guns. They tend to have sentinels and things like that. Unless it's like a horrifically crappy world, in which case they just have sticks and stones, but they'll still fight. And as you're walking off, you notice one of the PDF soldiers peels off and runs up to you, Sergeant Tykar, gives the sign of the Aquila, and says, "My Lord Astartes, Captain Bilkel, I was just wanting to inquire, sir, whether you have been assigned to help our efforts, or whether you will be on your way now."
So we're like, this is cover for us, right?
Yes.
But we're not assigned to the battle. Someone needed help when we dropped in.
There was a request for assistance on a top priority mission. And when I say top priority, I mean for the planet, not really in general. So for you guys, this isn't top priority. Who gives a shit? But for this planet, and for they appear to be engaged with a reasonably sizable orc force, not enough even to deploy the Imperial Guards, but a surgical application of a Space Marine squad or two can't hurt.
My helmet is still off, it's maglocked, so... Captain, we are here to assist the Imperium.
Yes, Lord. I was merely inquiring as to whether you were assigned to assist in our attempt, in our advance, or whether you were here to help the Hive.
What are your battle plans, Captain?
Yes, sir. We are a strike squad of the PDF, Planetary Defense Force, assigned to move and advance into the hills to find the Orc war boss, Steelfist, and to destroy him and his immediate underlings, in the hopes that will ease the battle and siege of the Hive.
Okay, I will unroll, like, I've probably got a map that's treated for water and stuff. I'm just going to unroll and hold it in front of him quite low down. Show me where.
Yes, Lord. And he takes it reasonably reverentially, and kind of like holding it kind of We were advancing.
Oh yeah, this is a gift from a fucking god to him, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is like holy scripture.
I'm not gonna lie. The majority of PDF, even being shouted at by the commissar to get to work and to start packing things up, a lot of them are a bit slow and like stealing glances at you all, and you know some of them are literally just like you know they're like handling heavy ordnance, you know, grenades and stuff, and they're just like not even looking. They're just like, oh my god.
What the hell?
It is said that the majority of humans in the Imperium will never see an Astartes. Seeing one is like, I don't know, it's like running into who's reasonably famous. It's like running into
George Clooney.
George Clooney or you know what? It's like running into Hulk Hogan. Just randomly.
Brother!
You kind of know he exists, but his own mythos is a bit of a bit of a myth.
Yeah.
And until you see him and realize it's
You're
true.
like, man, those pythons.
And then you're like
26-inch pythons.
and then you're like, oh my god, he is real. I hope he doesn't kill me. Much like the Astartes.
Yeah, so I hand him the map and I tell him to show me where this war boss is, because that sounds like an actual fight.
And he says, we're tasked with moving up this road in between the hills. Unfortunately, we've been pinned down multiple times by defenses and ambushes. Each time we've been slowed down, and they have had more time to dig in. This one here held us up for a couple of days, and we have been reduced by about 40%.
Okay, so I look at where he's marked on the map, and I'm gonna draw a border around where I think I'm gonna need to launch an attack here.
Yeah.
Pull your men back past this line. Hold that line. Do not let it fall. We will return.
Yes, Lord. Forgive my impertinence, but would you not like to have us along with you? Our task was to head forward into this area, and he kind of like the. Do you have your helmet on or off? Like
It's off.
it's off. Okay.
My belt.
I'm assuming that Tykar has had one expression, which is like very vaguely blank.
It's stern. You know when you're on the tube, like it's not like hateful, but it's stern and do not talk to me. Please.
Yes. So he kind of like trails off a bit because he was obviously not super confident about saying that in the first place. And he walks off and starts shouting like, "All right, I want to form a defensive perimeter." And
As he shits himself.
Yeah.
Don't you need our help?
Like, I would like to think that there was a moment where like Morkan's got his helmet on still, but you just see his armor go when he said that.
See, to me, that's stay out of the way because you'll probably die when we go in. 'Cause that's how we roll. But
Get
it
the
probably
fuck out of the way.
probably does seem like no, I don't need your help.
well, so to give you a like judging, I think the only things that could be useful to you would be A, the Chimera, and B, the Sentinels, and those would be in a
Oh right, yeah.
those would be in a capacity for essentially like scouting ahead, like preparing, you know. At the end of the day, this entire unit amounts to maybe one of your Astartes in terms of like helpfulness. Maybe even not even that.
I guess as he does this and starts to hurry himself off, I guess I would glance at, because they got hardware. We don't really have hardware. I guess I would glance at the Chimera and the ATSTs. I've already forgotten the names of because I just call them ATSTs.
Sentinels.
Sentinels, thank you. Captain.
He spins around. Lord?
I pull out my map again and I quickly point to the southern. Are we southern of where the mountains were at the moment? Yeah, the southernmost border. And I will circle a couple of points, and say, I want hardware here, here, and here. Sentinels can scout, but no further than, I don't know, let's say a quarter of the distance into where they haven't been able to go.
And he signed with the caller. Yes, Lord, immediately. And as he runs off, the scout sergeant kind of moves up to you and says, Sergeant, if I may take charge of the Sentinels, I will be able to direct the scouting efforts for us.
We should take on a squadron of humans.
Just the Sentinels for scouting purposes.
So be it.
So, and he moves off towards the Sentinels, which are, along with the Chimera, being essentially like revved up and starting to move. As that happens, it would be the actually someone with the insignia of a Medicae. I will give this extra, especially to Maraban, because he's probably clocked this more than anyone else. There are multiple wounded in a traditional battlefield style. You know, now that the fire is not being exchanged, kind of like laid out, and the Medicae are starting to tend to the wounded. There's quite a lot of them, but there's only 2 Medicae. So they are quite hectic and kind of running back and forth, trying to, bind wounds, and, some of them are just being left, and et cetera, et cetera. Traditional horrific war shit.
Yeah.
But one of the Medicae, I would say, walks up to the Astartes as they're lined up, sign of the Aquila, and my lord Astartes, I have a request, sir.
Now, is he talking to me specifically? Because
honestly, he walked up to within a few meters, stopped, and kind of addressed it in the general direction of all of you, because he's not sure who to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Morkan just looks at Morkio like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, is he talking to us? Is it talking to us?
And
doesn't even go here.
There's like a click as Morkil turns his head, and he's like, I think it is.
And then he looks at Nafir and Maraban, and it's just like, what is it doing? What does it want?
What are you talking about?
And then just fucking Morka just straight up points to the dude and just like, that right there, that one. It's, I think, talking to us.
Taking any note of it at all. And I turn. What?
Fuck. Holy shit. A space marine just going, what? To a human is fucking awesome and terrifying.
Apologies, my lord. I am Medicae Throw. I was wondering if I could request the use of the Chimera to transport the most critically wounded back to headquarters.
and we're like, just thinking,
We're fine.
like, yeah, it's like, I don't even think we would acknowledge him, right? We'd be just like,
we have taken the Chimera.
We just had the Sentinels. The scout just wanted the Sentinels, right? Not
No.
the Chimera.
The scout wanted the Sentinels, but the Chimera's being booted up to be sent to essentially the designated area for like kind of a defensive front.
I don't want to bother the sergeant with this nonsense.
and I'm gonna be like, no, you may not take that. If we need it, we are not going to waste our time with your inferior humans. And just glare at him, just like,
We have.
Morkan's
We
just
will take
confused.
what we need and whatever's left. You can leave.
Yes, Lord. Sign of the Aquila. Run. Like,
not-
not even like a far. It literally just took off on his heels.
I mean, I'm not gonna. Maraban's not gonna let anyone like fucking distract his mission again, especially a fucking human.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
We don't even really need it.
Yeah.
Also,
well, I know,
I
but-
want to point out to all of the viewers out there, we're the bad guys in this situation. That was awful and we feel gross, but my God, that's exactly what Space Marines would do. Just like,
And-
what does it want?
I
one of the Marines, Arcorian, who's kind of lined up next to Maraban, looks at you, Maraban, and says, Maraban,
yes.
I looked over at the wounded PDF soldiers. They don't seem to be that heavily wounded. Are you sure that they require medical assistance? This seems to be something they could just walk off, no?
Yes, they don't need anything, and those who do are just holding down the Empire anyways.
Well, it's a good thing we don't have to fight beside them. They seem to be quite lacking in any type of metal or
They would
conviction.
they would just get in our way. And they're so small. We could easily trip over them. When we
As-
tripped, step on them.
As a sidebar, just so
Yeah.
you know, quite a lot of them have like bullet holes in their chests, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, there's like missing arms and legs. And...
We're not human. We don't
No,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like
am
there should be a...
surprised
Yeah, go
that
ahead,
they
sorry.
lived so long. I can't believe they survived. How did... The Emperor smiles in them, I suppose, for some reason.
And Lazriel, who's next to Nephir, his comms click up to you specifically, Nephir, and he says, I don't understand how such a tiny force of Xenos managed to delay them for a few days.
Yes, well, it is... Did you see their trenches? Even... I'm doing this privately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Morakan commented on the trenches.
Morkan's just like leaning down and poking a corpse. Like, I don't understand.
With a digit the size of this human head.
Yeah, like the chest just like boom, boom, boom.
I don't believe Morakan would ever require a trench. He seems to get hit regardless of his cover or anything else. As a sidebar, Nephir, you have known Morakan since you've been posted here, essentially. But yeah, it's enough time to Morakan. You get the basics of Morakan quite quickly compared to the rest of the Astartes, I'd say. But for the rest of you, for Tykar and Morakan, like Datian, Radarte, Arcorian, and Enkedil. Oh, along with Lazriel as well. You haven't necessarily all been in the same squad together. You have served with them in Fourth Company for a fair while, so you would be aware of them to lesser or to more or lesser degrees. Which is why, as we have this moment here, and seeing as you have travelled through the warp together, spent some time as a squad, I will just give you a little bit of information on all of them. I know you guys have it, but for the people watching as well.
Yeah, of course.
So Sarathiel Datian is a tech marine. So he is very machine cult. He is very emotionless and very logical. He is essentially like classic tech marine. You have Nerakon Radat, who is a reasonably veteran, not quite as veteran as Tykar, but you know, getting up there. Tactical marine, very most of these guys are tactical marines, and pretty quiet, fairly even for an Astartes, quite disciplined and enthusiastic about being disciplined and staying in line and etc. I'd say he's probably the one who gets on Morrican the most, as things have currently stood. Well, aside from his brother, of course. But,
of course.
I'm going to say twin because they're all brothers. His twin. Sethaman Arcorian is actually reasonably recent. I'd say in the last 5 to 10 years has become an Astartes. So
Holy shit, he's a baby.
Yeah, he's very young. He's very enthusiastic, and he's the one who was quite confused about why they were injured.
Gotcha.
And then Radius Lazariel is actually so the Dark Angels, to my knowledge at least, don't really have the champion who's kind of like, this is the best person in the company with a blade or anything like that. He is the best person in the company with the blade. He is quite renowned at melee fighting and has a propensity for it. He can fire a bolter as good as anyone else. He does carry a pretty decent chainsword that was awarded to him. He's also reasonably veteran, although I'd say closer to like Morrican and Morrakil's time service as opposed to like Tykar's, who's a lot longer service. And then you have the veteran scout sergeant, who's probably the only person at age of or older than Tykar. So as we go forward, you'll have a vague idea of who these who your squad mates are, and
I have a question about drop pods.
Yes.
They drop.
Yeah.
Do they go back? How do they go back?
I am actually not 100% sure on that in terms of the law. I think
Magnets.
I think it's one of those things where they're kind of disposable.
Okay.
Or I think more accurately, it's assumed that they're picked up later on or something.
Yeah, that seems, because they wouldn't just like, this is like ancient Astartes technology, like that shit
venerated
is
fucking
the venerated drop pod.
Tears of angels.
It's been in
dropping
service for 4,000 years.
I would call in the Thunderhawk to collect us, and I guess we will arrange a meeting about what we're doing next aboard that when it eventually comes. I like after that captain popped off, I'll probably be surveying the troops and seeing what they're doing. They're mostly packing up, but you said there's a lot of injured.
Yeah. Probably around about 25-30%. There are also a section of just like covered bodies as well.
There's a triage set up.
No, it's barely a triage. There's no covering or anything. It's just them laid out on. They do have a couple of trucks that they are starting to move the less wounded into for transport back.
I think we'll have to wait a bit for the Thunderhawk to get in because it's not just straight down.
So on the Thunderhawk, you receive a communique from the strike cruiser in orbit, which essentially informs you that you are while you are engaged with this essentially assisting the strike team, the Thunderhawks and the strike cruiser itself is assisting the Hive in the battle, essentially providing necessary orbital bombardment and bombing runs. If you need one for the purposes of emergency or for like if you run into heavy resistance and you need air support, it can be redirected, but it will essentially it's like in emergencies.
Tech Marine Datian.
Yes, Sergeant.
Set me up a command center. We need to review the next battle ahead.
Yes, Sergeant.
Sorry.
I'll go over comms. 4th Company, at 1400 hours, there will be a meeting in the command center. Please restore your armor, your ammo. We will speak then.
And I'm gonna go and... I mean, it's not subtle, isn't really the word. I'm gonna go to the non-triage, where all these horrifically wounded people are.
Yeah.
It's something that because I've essentially not got humanity after so many years, and I need to remind myself of that. And I only ever see battlefields, so the best way to do that is to walk and I'm gonna look over all the injured and see how bad it is, because I know it was pretty bad for them. I need that experience.
So there's a reasonable amount of the typical like wounded, moaning, groaning, shouting, especially when one of the Medicae is tending to them. You know, sometimes it's cut off a bit here, sometimes it's stitch up a bit here. Well, I will say, as you walk through the lines, I'd say there's probably around about 60 or 70 wounded or so. As you're walking through the lines, like as you go through, as you get close, it does tend to trail off, and even the wounded, unless they're like heavily wounded or basically dying, their eyes tend to follow you. Like they go quiet, and you notice what you can essentially figure as awe, or you know, a little bit of confusion even maybe, as you walk through the lines.
Probably a bit of fear as well.
I mean, I would say yes, even though like some of them are dying. Yeah.
I will. Yeah, basically, I'm just trying to take in the scope of what a battle like this actually means to humanity. And yeah, obviously to us, their injuries are like, yeah, you'll be up on your feet, but like we've got organs in ourselves to literally rebuild body parts and shit, you know? So like trying to disconnect what we are to what humans, who we are the protectors of. We are to protect them. They are the Imperium. We don't work for them, but we are their saviors. I'm just trying to take it in, and I would probably comms the apothecary.
Maron.
Yes, Brother Sergeant.
Apothecary, please meet me at the triage, if you can call it that.
Marivan will walk over, and you're gonna notice he's not looking at any of the injured humans at all. He's like completely like avoiding looking at him because he doesn't want to. He's trying not to have that bit of humanity that apothecaries tend to have. He doesn't want it reminding him. So he's gonna walk up to Tykar and be like, "Brother Sergeant."
Apothecary, how many resources do you have on your person?
I don't. What do I have? I have.
You have in terms of like medical supplies, you are pretty decently decked out for Astartes. But the thing is you know, you don't take and you know, unless the squad gets wiped out, you don't take that many casualties for the most part. So
yeah.
I'd say you could help a few of them and not really affect your ability to stay medical essentially until you get back up to the strike cruiser. You could give a little bit of help to quite a few of them and the same, but if you'd like to help a majority of them, then you'd have to risk later on not having, in case there are any injuries or wounds or even deaths among the chapter, you wouldn't have enough.
Okay. So I'll go back for the sergeant. I do not have significant resources to assist all of them. I need to keep stocked in case any of our brothers are wounded. I do not have. If I go and start helping all of these, I will run low on resources. And if I cannot protect my brothers, there is no purpose for me here.
I understand. That is your most important job. Please, for me, maybe some of the worst wounded you could help. As long as it doesn't draw your stores dry. Medicaid. Sorry, got carry on.
Okay, no, you're good. I was gonna say, Maribel will lay a look and like he'll find one that is a human that is pretty messed up, but looks like he can maybe stabilize him, and we'll go over and like bend down and work on him a little bit and stabilize him, and after a few minutes, and walk back up to Tykar and be like, "That's one should survive now."
Thank you. And I call over the Medicaid that's been... Well, there's only 2 of them, you said, for all these.
Yeah. And, interestingly, maybe weirdly, the one who didn't come over to talk to you is the one who responds and says, "Yes, Lord," and you know. The other Medicaid, strangely, is at the other side of the, working on people down that end.
Unfortunately, we do not have the resources to help the majority of your people. My apothecary will treat some of the most serious injured. But he is... He has the resources to help our kind, rather than... I stop myself from saying humans. I like... There is... Like, if you're listening, you can, like, see that I was gonna say something, and I kind of stopped myself. Your soldiers.
Yes, Lord. We can make available some of our supplies. I am merely a Medicaid in the Planetary Defense Force. I'm not as well instructed as one of the famed Astartes.
Please identify the worst of your soldiers so that my apothecary can efficiently help them.
Yes, Lord. Aquila.
Half an hour.
And, so apothecaries have white armor, and they have a narthecium, I believe it's called, narthecius.
Narthecium is like the serum, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have that huge fucking drill.
Oh,
that
yeah.
enormous, which is just like, I'm sorry, I need to point out, if you don't, like, if you've never seen an apothecary space marine, they have this massive fucking drill, and it's big for a space marine. It would be like 3 feet long, and you're doing surgery with that shit. Like, holy fuck.
And that is that is partially for, I believe, for retrieval of the gene seed.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Yep.
I will say, pretty sure it's used in combat in some like stories and stuff as well. They just like drill.
Might as well, man. It's like the
Let me get that bullet out of there.
like the big daddies and the drills in BioShock.
Yeah.
That's probably the size it looks to a human.
Yeah.
Humongous.
What are you doing with that? Oh, just some very light, dainty surgery.
Don't worry, we need to upkeep you on your shots here.
So
Apothecary, no longer than an hour.
Yes, Brother Sergeant. And you'll see Maribel just start like, he just kind of like picks ones that he thinks like that they pointed out, and like, but if there's any doubt, like if he thinks that he won't waste his time, if he thinks someone's gonna die, he's gonna be like, this one is unsavable, and he'll just go on, and he doesn't waste his time. He's like, anything that isn't doable, nope, not worth it because he is an apothecary.
Yes.
Does Maribeth have any trouble like helping them, given that they have very different like physiology? Like their bodies are very different to ours, considering the ridiculous amount of organs and stuff that we have. Like, you know us really well, but we have like 2 hearts and 3 lungs and a fucking bone breastplate.
We're like a PlayStation 5, and this is a Super Nintendo.
I assume
there's a lot of empty room and shit. It's graying.
What do you need this
sunlight?
Maribeth just picks them up and goes.
So, it's
CPR by a space where he just blows their lungs.
so it's not really something that a medical professional in the army or in the Imperial Guard or in the PDF or anything, they wouldn't know anything about Astartes physiology, because A, they don't work with them that often, and B, there isn't a single chapter alive that would let anyone else anywhere near their men, anywhere near their Astartes. However, the Astartes do often work with Imperial Guards and you know all aspects of the Imperium. So apothecaries very often, like, they get taught best how to treat Astartes and, you know, how to fix them, but they also kind of fix themselves a lot of the time. You know, they're very sturdy. They do also learn how to fix people.
I assume that they're just, like, it's easy to, like, you know,
it's a lot more simple
and wounds, like shots and stuff. They just like put some bandage on it and like.
And
yeah.
So, could I get a Medicaid roll, please, Maribeth?
Is that the first roll that isn't bullet related?
Yes.
I think it is.
Okay,
Nice.
that's 3, so pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say you don't have to use that much in terms of supplies, and what you're essentially doing is you're being shown the worst ones and seeing if you can stabilize them. Like, you're not even saving them, you're just getting them to the point where they're no longer immediately dying.
Yeah.
They still need treatment. They, you know, it's you know, a quick stitch up here, a quick tying off there, and it is a very bizarre sight to the rest of the Astartes, who are, you know, essentially you are at ease, as best as an Astartes can be at ease.
Yeah.
I imagine there's at least a couple of the Astartes like watching over this, and you have these Medicaid like desperately running between injured men trying to save them, and you know, some of them are dying, some of them are screaming, and then you just have this like giant bone white apothecary Astartes who occasionally like kneels down and, you know, like double the size sometimes, you know, depending on the human, double the size of them almost, and just kind of like daintily, like, you know, sewing bits up and tying bits off and all that kind of thing.
It's like performing surgery on like dolls as a human. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like there's
It's-
I mean, you're essentially a vet because that's not your species anymore.
yeah. I mean, basically it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It just reminds me of Futurama, where like what Zoidberg doesn't even know what Fry is. Like, he doesn't know what he is. It's just like he doesn't know what these. I mean, he knows what the people are, but
Yeah. What are these things?
yeah.
So my question, Maribeth, is and while I say that the other Astartes are watching over you and everything, they're vaguely watching occasionally in kind of like the equivalent of if one of you and your mates are off somewhere and they're watching someone, you know, feed some ducks or something.
Yeah.
There are a couple you come to who are through your essentially through your medical knowledge, it's like there's no chance here. They're dying, they're going to die, like there's no kind of like it's not worth the stitching or the whatever to try and save them.
Yeah, the time. Yeah, everything. Yeah.
You do have the option of administering some painkiller. But that will not be available later.
Oh, then there's then I'm not using painkiller.
Okay.
That's again, it's if that affects Mariban's ability to protect his brothers, or help them when injured, he's not doing it. He knows how limited his resources are.
Okay.
He can. I mean, would an apothecary finish off any that weren't going to survive? I mean, would that that's a real question. I mean, it's yeah.
Emperor's
so I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't feel like Maraban has hit that point yet.
No, I don't think so. But I'm just wondering if it's crossing into his mind. If it's he's even thinking about it. But
I think it would probably cross his mind that Brother Nephir, maybe Morakan, maybe a couple of the other slightly older Marines would probably, they tend to go, oh, this person is going to die, I will just get rid, and there are some Astartes who will just do it to, cease the noise, not even to give mercy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're annoying me.
But there are other Marines, the Sergeant, possibly, this is again going off what you've experienced with him so far.
Yeah.
And a couple of the others maybe who would possibly do it, but only as a more of an attempt of mercy, rather than an annoyance or a nuisance. And you've experienced Marines who, while not, super human, inverted commas, as it were, they would still refrain from it, or they wouldn't, feel the need to. So
yeah,
it does vary.
I was just curious because I was thinking that if any of them are oh, this is about to die, I don't know. I think Maraban's trying to keep that humanity away a bit, and I think that even doing that at that point might be a little too much admitting his humanity of oh, this person's suffering, need to put him out, and so he's probably trying to avoid it. And I mean, he's doing all this because this sergeant asked him to, right? He's probably sitting there going a little back in the mind this isn't not exactly what he wants to be doing right now, but his sergeant asked him to do it, so he's doing it to help out, do what he's commanded to.
Does it? I guess my question would be, does it hit slightly for him where it's I'm not glad necessarily, but it's almost I'm glad the sergeant ordered me to do this because I was never going to do this. I'm never going to do this myself because of what's happened before, but
it's that thing where it's he's torn both ways, right? There's that humanity side of him, where it's this is what he's been taught to do. He's been taught to, heal, but then he's everything. It's yeah, you get to heal people, but any resource, if he's out of resources or he's he's not in the right position or time, it's just he's just going back. Well, it's he just has that internal monologue that we all have. When you have something in, you're thinking about something else, and that other voice in your head goes, well, what about this? It's just that, what about this? It's that, what about this? What about this? And he's just he's trying to fight that off. I mean, he's pretty good at, calming down his mind as a Space Marine, but he still has a little bit of it. And he's just kind of battling that while he's healing, right? He's kind of doing stuff that's pretty, bandaging and taking care of him. And he's just his brain's kind of going back and forth a little bit. And it's just well, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, but he's just trying to get done what he's been instructed to do. So
okay.
So you're fighting with the I don't help these people, I help Space Marines, but then a Space Marine, your sergeant has told you to do the thing that you're trying to stop yourself from doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because I mean he was helping humans and helping people and helping things that got him to that gene seed getting, take it, not being retrieved, and he's like, he doesn't want to go back in the penance box.
Yeah.
He does not want to go in the back of the penance box. It's just like, so he's like trying to keep that humanity away, trying to keep his like, willingness to do anything for them, because he's been slapped once. Yeah.
It might lead back down that path of making the wrong choice. Okay. Well, as that is happening, essentially as there is going to be a bit of downtime and before you move out and plan and plot and strategize, the Astartes have a little bit of time. The majority of them take some form of repose, whether it be kneeling. I think especially Datian and Lazriel in their own ways, the Tech Marine and the more veteran.
It was setting up a command center for me, isn't he?
Yeah. Sorry. So Datian is setting it up. Also, as a sidebar, you hear some screeching and metal tearing and stuff. He does take at least part of one of the trucks apart to construct kind of like a very basic command.
Will be more
tent.
useful for us than that will in the hands of soldiers.
That's awesome.
But especially Radat take a kind of more meditative repose. He goes down on one knee and kind of like with his bolter kind of like planted in front of him, and you can't hear anything because it's enclosed by his helmet, but you will know that he's chanting and kind of reflecting on the battle and things like that. A couple of
one more thing before I go. I'm gonna call Brother Nefir over and ask him to find the ones that I find that I know can't be saved, and ask him to provide spiritual guidance for them.
Okay.
And be like, Brother Nefir, can you give those? Like I'll point out like the ones I kind of like referring to. These are not savable. Can you give them spiritual guidance?
So, just before you do that, that is essentially the how things are set before you're called back together as a squad to receive orders and head out. So, if anyone needs to talk to the sergeant, or for example needs to give spiritual guidance to the dead troopers, I'm going to dip for 1 second to use the bathroom. Feel free to, don't talk to any of the NPCs though, because technically speaking, they're all peeing with me. So
yes, I think that may be something I do. In just a moment, Apothecary.
They are not helpable. I've done all that I can. They are not very durable compared to us Space Marines.
No, they are most fragile, but ensuring they're at peace before they pass can only help.
Any small thing. They view us as gods.
Yes, in just a moment. I turn to the other Astartes around in the group of us. We did well today. It was worship the Emperor will truly save her. Look to your war gear, brothers.
And Morrican's just there, and he's just never take my eye off of it. Just racks it back like 4 times in a row. It's all good. And then what was the name of the tech marine? It was Datian.
Yeah.
Right. And he's just like, he kind of looks at Daddy and he goes, "Do you think the Emperor could? I don't know. Like, does everything look okay?"
Like Datian's like a bunch of stuff.
I'm sure that Datian just like looks at Morrigan and just doesn't say anything.
He's shaking his
Fuck,
head.
like it's been like 7 hours since you've asked him. He's just like,
just
oh,
like,
okay, fine, all right.
Tink, 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 tink. Little clown starts going. After I say that, I'll head towards some of the most wounded that Maraban pointed out.
Before you do that, well, as you do that, Morrigan goes, Brother Nafir, where are you going? We're still discussing today's battles and glorious moments. Where are you going?
I must see to the spiritual needs of those who are about to pass.
We have a brother who's wounded? Who?
No. It is a human.
Again, like,
I can see
Morrigan
it.
just so fucking, what? And then he just looks at his brother, and then he looks back at you and goes, what do you mean a human?
Think of it this way. Do you think Chaos would give up the opportunity to take hold in a human just because they are dying?
No, but I would assume that if Chaos took up in a human, we would just step on its head.
That is the right step to take, should that happen, but do you think it is right to let Chaos corrupt those the Emperor has charged us with protecting?
Morrigan is just like,
I look at Morrigan and just like, come on, nudge him. Help him here.
and then he goes, and so Morrigan's just like, but we're weapons. We're not here to, we're the Emperor's might, his angels, his fury, and we protect them by fighting, but it's not our job to, they take care of that. We use this. What? I don't understand. Where are you going?
I will trust in your ability with your weapon. And I ask that you trust me with my duty.
And as soon as he hears duty, and as soon as he hears that, like, obviously you have a different role, he knows that you're like, you know, chaplain bound, right? And he understands that, and he just kind of he's just fucking racking the shit out of this thing. And then as soon as you say that, he's just like, huh. I suppose that's his words and all of that, or something you're much more adept at than I am. So I will trust that to you. You are one who rouses the soul. So who am I to judge whose soul you rouse?
I think, like soldiers are doing their chatty thing. I'm gonna walk up to where Morrigan and his brother is, and I'm gonna pick up Morrigan's helmet, which I assume he's not wearing at the moment.
No.
And sort of dust it off and just look at all these like ricochets and stuff. Brother Morrigan, I didn't realize your battlefield road was target practice.
No, sir. I I seem to draw fire away from our other brothers, since I can take it.
It appears you have done an indomitable job, brother.
Thank you, Brother Sergeant. Even then, he was just
that
like,
was a big word. I don't know what it means, but
I should have gone with indefatigable. Indefatigable.
thank you, Sergeant.
I like hand it back with a bit of a like we're not fighting, we're not in a proper situation.
Yeah.
It's a bit more lighthearted, but I am still, you know, a sergeant. And I just hand you back your helmet.
Morikil, still helmet on, his head turns as you're talking to Morikana, and he says, "It is good, Sergeant, that he attracts the majority of fire, as we are all better shots, and the staggering does not affect his aim much."
He just racks his fucking thing again. Just like, I'll be over here with Datian.
There's like 2 dozen unspent shells like right next to him.
Yeah.
Keep racking it.
I like pull up. I pull up the stats from the battle we just had. Where it appears you each have 300 confirmed kills. Sorry, Marakil, 301.
Fucking Morrigan just
Took out the dreadnought.
yeah, right. Morrigan just fucking excuse me, brothers, there seems to be some sort of dust from this godforsaken planet that's entered my 3 lungs. Excuse me, my lungs. Datian, could you look at the respirator? And he takes off his helmet. On my helmet.
Datian's still like.
Yeah. He's talked to Datian like 3 times. I know you said don't talk to him, but we were just like, we would assume he wouldn't say anything to Morrigan.
I am currently occupied building a command HQ for the sergeant. I do not believe that your requirement is important enough to distract me from this task. Therefore, I will continue with my task. You can continue with yours.
Oh, thank you, Brother Datian. I'll look at it myself. And Morgan just stares at the helmet. He doesn't know what the fuck he's looking at.
Please do not do that.
Oh,
I will look at it when I have less important tasks. For now,
Is he-
do not get it any dirtier or more damaged, please.
fine.
I see him just, like,
Morgan just
breaking things off of it on accident, trying to fix it, like trying to turn a knob and just busting it.
Yeah, Morgan just kneels and just kind of.
You both performed exemplary.
I did take 10%, 90% less shots than Morrigan, but
Well done, Morrigan, as we have had no injuries because of your head.
You're welcome, Brother Sergeant. Thank you, Brother Sergeant. He just kind of thump thump on his
I'm
metal
trying to
plate.
figure out if Morrigan, like, I'm looking at him trying to figure out if he knows I just made a joke. And he's just like, thank you.
He has no idea, especially in the fact that he's just like, thank you, Brother Sergeant, whatever. And he's like, dum dum, you're welcome. Like,
In the background, you've just seen me like go between the very wounded, and like after I leave them, they're covered in like a sheet, like each one. You spend some time with one, leave them, they're then covered with a sheet, and I just go round and round and round and round.
yeah.
I am asking them, like, you know, leave me your worries, leave me your secrets, and then, like, you know, go on to the Eternal Crusade, like that kind of thing. Seeing if any of them say anything that's like heresy or like something that's important.
No, I would say the majority of them are either, like, what you notice is as you lean down to talk to them or to gift to them some words, the majority of them go very quiet, and like even though they're clearly in pain or like this seems to override it for a little bit, I'd say that there's a couple who just, you know, they're either too far gone, like, you know, just on the cusp of death, or in too much pain that it doesn't really register for them. But yeah, no, it's either that or just kind of like
Worries about, oh, I'm leaving my family behind and all that kind of stuff. Normal human things.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
family? What are we, the salamanders? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, just that stuff. And then I assure them the Emperor will protect. And we are here now.
So
Captain will be safe. Then I like squish them.
Oh shit, you actually kill them?
Well, I mean, they're in pain and they're suffering, and then when they're like, "Oh, good," and I'm like, you can, you know, move on and rest." And they're like, "Yes." And I'm like, okay, and sheet over them. Next one.
Oh god.
Probably not hard for Astartes to
No.
kind of break the neck. of
Yeah,
a
just
human.
like it's. I'm not trying to make them suffer first.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
and you stop now.
So
Yeah.
Now I'm pressing the stop button.
I would say you could like probably snap their neck, although like squishing's probably going to be a bit messy.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got my knife as well.
Yeah,
I can do it,
you
right.
like Astartes knives are fairly large, but you know it's kind of
I'll figure something out.
yeah.
a broadsword?
I'm just
I bring them peace because the apothecary. I'm putting my trust in his skills, and he says these ones are too far gone.
yeah.
And the suffering is not a good thing in the eyes of the emperor and stuff. So I make it go away.
They
No more bad thing.
they have been serving the emperor, and you know, they died in his service. So, I will say, like, I just got the image of like Nefer drawing out this like arm-sized kind of massive Final Fantasy VII style like knife, and being like a small incision to see you off in peace, like grabbing the hair and just like chopping the head off. Rest in peace, soldier.
Rest in pieces.
I
They
think
don't
they
see
went
it coming.
peacefully. Yes.
I make sure
Peacefully.
they don't see it coming.
Yeah.
I will like close your eyes in prayer now, and then chunk, it's over for them.
So
And then cover them with a sheet.
before we head into Sergeant Tykar's, let's call it war room meeting. Tykar, are you essentially, is the plan here to, let's call it, sideline the PDF and advance into the mountain hill range?
Yeah, I don't want any PDF in the way. That's why I'm going to
Okay.
set out like a cordon, basically. Obviously, the ones that Cassian is in control of will be like doing what Cassian does. Scouting ahead and stuff. But I kind of want them. No orcs can get out if we surround them. But if they're there and they will be in. This is horrible, but they will be in the way.
Yes.
Like, we can't perform to how we would secure a battlefield if there are humans in the way and doing their own thing, and they have different strategies. Like, they have to hide from bullets. We can walk through them,
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to walk and then your cat's like trying to weave themselves between your feet. That's like the humans in the Astartes.
Kind
You're
of.
gonna yeah.
I still don't think of them as... Well, I do think of them as lesser because they're not as
They are
we
lesser.
but they're still, like I said before, they're still valuable, and we are there to protect them. And if they're in the way, we will be doing the opposite of protecting them.
But also they'll get in the way.
Let
will
us
essentially
protect
get
you,
in the
you
way.
little shits. Now move.
Put your
You don't know what's
seatbelt
good
on.
for you. We do.
Go stand in the corner.
I don't want to have to stand on the brakes really hard and have to hold my hand out to stop them going forward.
I'd say probably about 30 minutes into the hour break before you get everyone back together. You receive a communique over the comms from the scout sergeant, who reports in saying, "We have proceeded along the hillsides, and I am relaying a updated map of ambush positions. I think I have located all of them along the route towards the war boss's encampment."
We have an ideal point of ingress.
The war boss's encampment is a pathetic ramshackle fort that will fall to a couple of rounds from Brother Morakil's plasma cannon.
That is good news, but I was hoping a proper fight.
It seems the majority of his forces have been disseminated across the hills in attempt to ambush. However, I feel confident I can take out a couple of them if if you can weather the other ambushes. And over your essentially... Oh, you're not wearing your helmet, are you?
I probably to take a call.
To take a look at the...
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably sending me important information.
You can affix your helmet pretty quickly and pull up the information. He's basically sent over the basic map of terrain that you have from your intel, and has updated the area with like, there's probably about 8 or 9 ambush spots going up this like trail. He's marked off a few closest to you, which he essentially says he can deal with. So you'll probably have like 3 or 4 to deal with, and then eventually get to the kind of boss's encampment,
which he said is barely defended. It's pathetic. I think.
It seems like the tactic here has been delay the PDF so that they can set up defensible ambush positions to slow them down more, to set up more defensible ambush positions. Less important when you're dealing with Astartes, because Astartes can just storm a position. The PDF would, like, especially if it seems like a fair few of their tanks, well, not tanks, but, you know, chimeras and transport stuff has been taken out, so.
Okay.
If you want, you could also request a Thunderhawk aerial, like some air assistance. I would say, however, that if you had, you know, a superior on this mission with you, they would question why you needed it, because it's
a waste of resources here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
This is good intel, Brother Cassian. Thank you.
I will commence with my cleansing the ambush points and then join you on the road, Brother Sergeant.
With you, brother.
And with you.
I want to be Catholic, and also with you. We are Dark Angels, I guess.
Yeah. They've got some vibes in there, definitely. I would say maybe 5 minutes later, you hear a fairly soft but loud enough kind of like thwump explosion type sound, enough to assume that the scout sergeant is about his work.
I'll just wait till the HQ set up and we're ready to just tell people what to do.
Which I'd say, around about on the moment, Datian finishes up the final touches. It's nothing, you know, resplendent or anything, but it's enough to be a proper HQ and etc. My question is, do you request the presence of any of the PDF?
I think out of a sense of duty, I would involve the command structure, which essentially just boils down to the commissar.
The commissar and the captain.
Yeah, probably the captain as well that I spoke to earlier.
For the record, they aren't, like, they're not essentially going to get involved with saying what the tactics should be or anything. Yeah. But I just wanted to highlight that it is a very veteran sergeant who's like, these people are useless, but I'm still going to invite them in so that they feel involved. Like,
well, they are still I've seen they're wounded.
Yeah.
Like, to the best of their ability, they are in hell. Like, to us, that was nothing. We just came out and just badassed for 20 minutes and sorted it out. But to humans, because I still think of them as humans, but I try not to. Like, they've been doing their job to the best of their ability, and it's been hard.
Yes.
So they deserve to be there, but they're not going to influence what I'm going to do. Because they don't know, well, they don't know what I can do, which is just rule the battlefield.
And your level of strategy and combat experience compared to theirs as a veteran of a Dark Angel successor chapter,
they wouldn't know how to use that resource that is Astartes anyway. Like they'd be like, that's suicide. You can't just walk up there, and that's nothing to us. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, there's at least 100 orcs in here, and it's like that's nothing. Morrigan can just take those out with probably one trigger pull.
So yes, it is a veteran Astartes who thinks to call in the command structure of Imperial Guard and PDF and etc. Even though they are not necessarily effective or important enough from an Astartes standpoint.
Yeah.
When you're doing combined operations or any form of helping out a planet, etc., it helps to have people around who don't get in your way at the very least. And
yeah, it's like when I'm going through the plan, I will refer to the PDF and what they're doing so that they don't interfere with what we're doing, because I've got a good idea, but you haven't thought of everything. I have. You need to know this information.
Yeah. Or even if they don't in good intentions get in the way, if they feel insulted or if they feel overlooked or belittled, they can still make problems for Astartes. They're not gonna.
I have experienced guardsmen being annoyed and making my life a problem for about 0.4 seconds, but still.
Well, I mean, even still, there are a high enough ranked Imperial Guardsman or even Commissar can make life difficult for an Astartes. Mostly because they're not really involved with the structure of the Imperial Guard and of the planet and of the war machine. Very often they find themselves inserted as a small squad like you have.
Sharp troops.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if they want to, if they feed you the wrong information, because fuck you, or if they divert supplies or anything, it can screw over Space Marines. Astartes have been not wiped out obviously, but have squads have found themselves up shit creek without a paddle basically because an Imperial Guardsman got insulted and
I'm not here to insult. I know some of my brothers a bit loose with their tongue and what is that? No, you can't do this. That is something that I do have to think about because it's logistics, and as a sergeant who wants to be more than a sergeant, that is important. Regardless of the resources and the value of the resources, they're still resources.
Could I ask, do you think possibly one of the reasons you haven't been accelerated as much as you may have liked is because in the past you did ignore that kind of chain of command of Imperial Guard and etc. Maybe in your younger years there were a few instances where the Imperial Guard were overlooked or a commissar or whoever was kind of treated with very...
I can see that, with the youth comes impetuousness, and I'm I don't need you. And even though I know that I don't need them now, it is important that they don't know that.
Yes.
It's important that I don't treat them like that, because I've been around a long time, and in any war zone, there's probably guard there. They're the backbone of the Imperium.
Even with PDF, leaving a commissar and a captain outside of a command strategy meeting is a good way for those PDF troopers to suddenly leave your flank exposed and let a huge swath of orcs through to hit you in the side, which may not wipe you out, but could very well lead to deaths and stuff. It's not worth it, really.
Or discontent, and having had experience with guardsmen who are traitors. Yeah, that's part of it. That was probably the turning point where I'm in order to be a good sergeant, I need to understand that everyone here is a soldier. Just some might have more merit and uses for what I need rather than.
All right. Well, the commissar and the captain are present during the command meeting. However, neither of them are going to volunteer anything because they have already been sidelined. I would say the commissar doesn't seem super happy about it, wants to get back out there and like lead the troops with you. He probably, I imagine he came to you and requested that either he or the unit was allowed to accompany you because he did, before. The captain less so because what I would say,
a command.
yeah, the commissar doesn't seem to take into account the damage done to the unit. It's pretty heavy, especially like not to be too mean to the humans, but losing the majority of their transport and tanks and even sentinels pretty much minimizes their effectiveness as a strike force. It's going to be quicker and more effective to leave them behind.
Is he outspoken about that, or is that
No, he puts forward a request, and I'm assuming it's rejected pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it's something I would consider, but not I would consider addressing. Okay. All right. I know what I would do is each as I'm going through what, like, everyone's there, we're talking through the battle plans, showing the map on the hololith and all that stuff. Each ambush point that we storm and take and cleanse.
Yeah.
I would, because I know it's not going to be that dangerous. I would get the cordon pushed up.
Yeah.
Originally, I would just leave it back there and just clear it as I go forward. But since as he did request to be with us, he's not having that. No, that's not happening. Each point that is taken by us probably needs some mopping up, one or two.
Or at the very least, like, moving up and securing, guarding the flanks so that you can comfortably move. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably impress. I mean, I'm a space marine. I am trained in politics and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would probably express to him that it's important that after we've cleared these out, these are secured, and we're not going to have any orcs at our back.
Yeah. Okay.
But that would be a lie because we would clear it out. But I understand throwing them a bone.
You essentially, as you put that forth, I would say that's probably just a little bit before the meeting when he approaches you. You essentially he accepts, and I would say the little disgruntled vibe he has kind of been washed away. It's possible that he had an idea. You know what? You're Astartes.
You want to roll?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're Astartes, and you're not like super good at this. So could you please roll me an insight, which is possibly the best stats for an Astartes, I'd say. It is 3 dice, and you don't roll well. You don't get any successes. In that case, what I'll tell you is he seems to go from disgruntled to not particularly as upset. Like he still has that vibe of like, I want to join you, I want to fight for the Emperor kind of thing. But he's like, this is helping, and this seems like an important task, so I'll do it. And any other nuance escapes you.
Okay, I think I would take the note of that for how the battle turns out later. That he obviously wanted to be involved, even though I'm like, what are you going to do, bro?
Yeah.
I think I would keep that in mind. Because Astartes they're not just war machines. They are highly intelligent, they're tactical, they have charisma. Some of them are trained to deal with higher ups who they can't just immediately say, fuck off, I'm in charge.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, that's in their DNA. That's like bred into them. Maybe less so the Dark Angels, considering their Primarch.
Yeah.
But he has the capacity for that kind of understanding.
Okay. So, I feel like the tactics meeting, I don't feel like we need to go over the details of it.
It's pretty much, we're going to go with this order as we obliterate their ambush points.
So,
I want this one, and then I want that one, and then I want that one.
So, in that case, what I think we'll do is we will, The camera fades out on the tactical meeting and fades back in on the first couple of places being, the first couple of orc ambush points being taken out. A mixture of sentinels advancing over the lip of a hill and essentially firing I believe they have multi-lasers actually, sentinels. But firing down into this kind of like little grouping of maybe 20 to 30 orcs and just kind of like taking them by surprise, knocking them out, assisted by the veteran scout sergeant, taking snapshots and sniping out any who either run or try to get closer, especially ones, one of the second one that they take out, one of the orcs raises this like big cluster of like what is essentially grenades all taped together and kind of like hefts it like he's gonna throw it, and then immediately like the scout sergeant singles him out, like bolt round through the head. He falls down, the entire area like explodes in this like whomp, which is probably what you heard, Sergeant, earlier. Well, what everyone heard earlier. The camera then fades on those scenes and rejoins the Astartes as they are walking down this kind of... It's not a very often traveled path. So at best you have like vague concrete maybe that's been that's been kind of like eroded away by weather and years and years and years of not being used that much. And you are proceeding down. I'm assuming that we're kind of going like as a sidebar, the scout sergeant rejoins you and has dismissed the sentinels, so they were mostly used for the scouting. I'm assuming you're going to have the scout sergeant moving ahead. Yes. And then probably just column formation, like on each side of the road.
I think I would place Morrican at the front.
Makes sense.
Because he's got a loud heavy. You got the heavy bolter, right?
Yep.
And we're gonna be. It's mostly infantry. Your brother would be close behind, but you're gonna be the head of the spear as we move forward.
Sounds good.
The ambush points have minimal to no vehicles, and what vehicles it has are essentially fixed emplacements. They're not like, so.
Is it anything we can use at all, or is it all scrap, worthless nonsense?
It's orc stuff. Like,
okay.
even when it works, the second you get your hands on it, it's like, no, that doesn't work.
It's just scrap. It's just metal. How did they
Schrodinger's gun. What?
Yeah.
This shot me? Because they have to believe in it, right? That's like the whole thing with orc technology is they believe in it to work, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Tinkerbell technology, basically.
So we then get I'd say for the first couple of ambushes that were supposed to be ambushes, essentially as you come up towards them on the map, before you take a bend or before it they kind of come over the horizon, Sergeant, you call a halt, you send a couple of Space Marines up and around the sides, and then grenades and hand-to-hand combat, they get taken out like explosions and firing and orc screaming. No casualties, no real close calls or anything. The majority of these points were intended to scare and slow down PDF troopers. You'd need other stuff, better equipped orcs. Like, they mostly have shooters, and shooters just fire slugs at as fast a speed as they can possibly fire. There's minimal penetration, not super there's always a possibility that a stray bolt will just hit the wrong way, penetrate through armor, etc. But
there are high points for the gun people out there.
Yeah.
It would be the equivalent of attacking a Sherman tank with the Uzi. Something might get through, but you're not banking on it.
Yeah, I guess I send them round to flank, and the second the explosions start, I just push Morrigan forward, and he just pushes through, and they can't do anything because they're being attacked from each side. And yeah, so
Morrigan push forward.
I want to know what he does. He's essentially
without
in
hesitation,
the
just
lead.
like fuck you, boom, 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 just like walking forward, shooting, probably thunk, boom, boom, just a little bit, boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah, and there's kind of like there's the orcs are like, whoa, good God, and like just as a sidebar, the majority of orcs can't speak Gothic. They have their own language that sometimes you hear a Gothic word or something along those lines. Even
these beakies got wings.
yeah. But essentially, what you're going to hear is like grunts and urs and grug and like that kind of stuff. A grenade does land nearby, like a frag grenade, and it essentially explodes, and it's not close enough to like give much of a shock or anything. It probably showers you with some dirt, a couple of bits of frag, maybe like in your shoulder, like a little bit of like debris, like, you know, sticks on, kind of, you know, barely penetrating the power armor at all.
Gotcha. Yeah, just kind of like takes that and just like the goal here is to just keep walking through things.
Yeah.
And then occasionally looking back at Morgan and be like, oh, where's your big gun now? Just continuously mowing him down. And then if he runs out of ammo, he's not going to reload.
Yeah.
He's immediately going to pull his knife and he goes, permission to walk, continue forward, Sergeant.
Close combat's initiated.
Ah! And then he just fucking takes off. He is just out there, just boom, stab, punch, boom, boom, just beating the shit out of these orcs and just, you know, turning their green faces into paste as he just continues to just maul them down with his fist.
Yeah, blood splattered all over the armor. There are kind of like orcs kind of jumping out and roar, and there'll be like a kind of a chink and a clunk as like an axe like slides off the power armor, and then, you know, like there's you like grab one by the neck and stab another one with the thing, and then like crush the neck and throw him.
There's at one point that he grabs like a Gretch or something like that and just shoves it in the mouth of another one, just like that.
It's like punching the Gretchen into the mouth of the orc, just like.
I'm imagining Morgan trying to count in like that kind of multitasking is like fucking with him. He's like
1, 2, 4, 6, 5, what?
Luckily, the readout on his helmet is actually confirming kills and stuff.
Yeah.
He's trying to count and it's completely off.
Numbers.
Yeah. But he gets done and he's like, oh, that's not what I counted to. Whatever, you're better than me. You know, he kind of sees the count.
Question.
He kind of looks back at Morkiel and goes, ah!
Question, Morikon. When you go to close combat, do you put down the heavy bolter?
Yeah, he just kind of thump, like, which not really supposed to do that.
No.
That's not a really good thing to do. But then again, he ran out of ammo, so like he was like, ah. And he did ask his superior officer immediately, like, permission to go. He didn't say, "Can I drop my ancient bolter that's been given the rights of, you know, the what is it, the
RPM
benediction of RPM?" Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't ask if I could just drop that shit on the ground, but he did ask permission to go hand to hand, and that's he doesn't think this through. He just kind of went and just like ran forward because he wanted to keep fighting. So
Sergeant Tykar, and everyone else, this does come over the Astartes comms. You hear,
Sergeant Tykar, requesting permission for one admonishment for warrior Ottar for disrespecting the Omnissiah and misusing the holy weapon of our most glorious emperor.
Shit.
Admonishment noted and delayed until after the battle.
My thanks, Sergeant.
Wait. Itian, please collect our brother's heavy bolter.
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, so Datian goes over to where it was dropped, reverentially picks it up, straightens up, and as he straightens up and looks over towards Morikon, who, let's face it, is covered in orc blood and viscera and etc., and one of his mechadendrites, like, raises and kind of like snakes for a second and then just clamps a few times at Morikon before he turns away and moves off. Your weapon has been taken away from you, sir.
Fuck! And then Morikon's just like, "Argh!"
Need to get a good sling or like a hook, some sort of.
Wait, does Nafir actually say this to him? Like, like, why don't you have like something to secure that to you?
No, Nafir knows that you've not thought about that.
Yeah.
Because
Morkan's just like, and he kind of feels everybody's eyes on him, and he's just like, the area has been cleared, sir. I await orders.
And Morakil pipes up in the comms and says, Sergeant Tykar, permission to clear next ambush point myself, seeing as Morikon has lost his implement of war.
Permission granted. Morikon, do you have your pistol?
Yes, sir.
Please recite the rites of bolter maintenance.
Okay. And
this is my bolter. There are many other like it.
This one is Morgan's.
But this one is one I won't drop, I swear, this time.
He pulls this thing out. He fucking hates this thing. This is a punishment in and of itself. I'm a heavy gunner. What am I
know
doing
this is
with
a punishment.
He's just like, by the Emperor's name and the Messiah, together we bless this bolter in his name. May he grace this battlefield with holy fire and cleansing of our enemies, Xenos, heretic alike. In the Emperor's name, cleanse more and forever.
I send a
Morikon.
number to Morikon's readout, which is an amount of kills he needs to get with this bolter before he's allowed his heavy bolter back.
Is it like a lot? Or is it...
I mean, for Morikon, it's not a lot, but it's not going to be easy with a bolter pistol.
Got it.
And I assume that you're also now real frustrated because your brother's number is going to get way bigger.
Well, yes and no. So the I'm interested to see, like, so okay, internal process of Morikon right now. This is like going in and like infantry is his jam. That's what he deals with best. And we're going through an infantry situation. We're going through like scout camps and all that stuff, like smaller camps just filled with infantry. Morakil's got the plasma gun, which is just made for armor and buildings and big things because it only shoots once every once in a while, you know. He's got a bolt pistol too, but like it's just, you know, it's not. He's got big boom and then little bops. I have the middle ground, right, where I'm able to mow down stuff.
Yeah.
So Morakan's like, yes, he's got the upper hand. He's got the moment to act now to take on the count, but he doesn't have the right equipment set up for it unless there's armor, which there very well might be. But as we see right now, he's not predicting that. And also, he's just more pissed off that he has to use this fucking plinkster of a gun.
Brother Morikon, do you remember what you said when I said, look to your war gear, brothers?
Yes.
Never leaves your side, is what you said. You do well to remember that in future.
I'll work on that, brother. Thank you for the reminder.
I blink send a copy of Morikan's Penance of Kiln Confirmed to Techmarine Datian. He's now in charge of Morikan's Penance.
Okay.
Fuck. No, not Tatian. This is so much worse. Oh, God.
That's
Well,
your best friend.
So, more bad news, I guess. There is one more ambush point that, as you reach up towards, as arranged, the column stops, and Morkiel moves ahead. Essentially, kind of plants his legs and aims the heavy plasma cannon. You hear the voo, 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 and then this huge ball of plasma just fires, gets ejected, and kind of like loops a little bit, and comes down directly on this kind of like this just nestled ambush point in between some trees and some rocks, and just explodes. And you hear kind of like very faint and vague, probably not even that much because of the explosion, but he has essentially taken out an orc, position. Well, you know, there's quite a few of them there, possibly. Most of them have been completely evaporated, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, this Morkan immediately knows this, and after there's that kind of simmer silence of him just vaporizing this little group, he doesn't say Morkan doesn't say anything because it knows if he opens his mouth, he's just gonna dig himself deeper. So all you would hear or see is his gauntlets, and you just hear like ceramite like scraping on ceramite as his like just the edges of his fingers kind of go like that as he tightens his fist. It's like, you motherfucker, and, you know, but he doesn't say anything. He's just like, you know.
Yeah, and as he comes back, so just as a note, in terms of like the internal, comms, if warranted and needed, Brother Nephir, you can actually tap into the internal communications between individual Marines. Ooh. It is something that the chaplains find necessary to maintain them, you know, the like everything for the Astartes. And Sergeant Tykar, you could technically tap in, although you just essentially see in like a very minor readout that I assume you probably keep very far to the side, that sometimes the Marines are talking to each other.
Yeah, I probably see him light up. I probably don't listen in. I think when Brother Nephir was seeing to all the wounded, I might have like tapped in to just listen, because I mean that's guidance for me as well. He's talking about serving the Emperor, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably don't interfere in his job. You know what I mean? I know he's communicating because I can see a full readout of my entire squad and separate connections, Discord DMs that they've got. I know that's there, and I know I can look at it. But I trust my brothers. I don't need to check on that.
And
anything that can be said out loud.
In general, that stuff is more the purvey of a chaplain as opposed to a squad leader. Or
that's not my job.
I'm paying attention on occasion to like the few who I think would most need guidance.
Yeah.
And that is Maraban, Morrican, and Arcorian, since he's young.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, individual private communique between Morrican and Morrican. As he's walking back and he kind of hefts his plasma cannon, you just hear in your ear, again, quite softly, does that also only count as one?
I don't know. Can you count the corpses when they're just a mangled pile of goo? we can at least count what I killed. Back there, you just left a crater. Looks like one to me, at least from the satellite readouts that we'll see afterwards.
There's like a very quiet, like, just like a little,
Yeah.
just a little huff of air chuckle.
Yeah.
I believe that was the last of the ambush points, Brother Sergeant.
As I finish off like an orc, and retract my blade and power it up to clean it off.
Copy, Brother Nefir. Fourth company to me.
And I'll kind of...
The column forms up.
Yep.
And there is nothing stopping you from essentially advancing to the fort. You saw a few like vague pics from a distance of the fort. The veteran scout sergeant didn't want to get close enough. They have a couple of turrets. They appear to be essentially similar to heavy bolters to a degree. They're not designed for taking out tanks and things like that. They're designed to take out like vast infantry, but they do still pack more of a punch than the crappy like orc weapons.
Yeah, certainly the biggest nuisance we've ran into.
It's essentially, as you know where it is, and it's got kind of like a little open area, I guess, in front of what is essentially an orc fort. Let's call it a fort. It is pretty much the rusted metal, kind of about two space marines high.
It's a
kind of,
scrapyard.
yeah, it's a scrapyard basically. Minimal activity. A couple of orcs up on the top of these kind of barricades, let's call them. Not super enthusiastic. There's some shouting and there's some kind of like, whoa. It sounds like there's some commotion going on inside, but I think from a position reasonably far away up on one of the hills, you get the scout sergeant radio in and say, they appear to be having some form of contest of strength or something. The few of them that are in there, Sergeant, are gathered together.
A contest of strength?
I am unsure exactly as to what is happening, but they appear to be striking each other.
Let's see.
It could just be a regular orc ceremony or something.
Sounds like diplomacy.
Nice.
Brother Cassian, can you see the well,
The towers, there were towers.
Turrets.
Yes, they're, you can see them too at this point. Essentially, for all intents and purposes, you are just, let's say, out of range / sight of the. There's two kind of like towers with
like out front? Oh.
yeah, automatic cannony, like similar to heavy bolters. They're just big Dakar basically.
Are they orked? Rather than manned. Are they orked? Or
Yeah,
are they
they're
automatic?
orcs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brother Cassian, the towers. Would they take away to an Astartes?
I wouldn't trust any type of construction made by an orc, but they might.
I would like you and Brother Orican to quickly and quietly take out the towers so we can move forward and hold position in the towers.
Right you are.
And Morrican follows. What was the name of the who I'm following right now? Or
Cam-
who was with me?
That was all Corian that I just sent with him. I need
Oh,
you to
okay.
kill things up front.
Oh,
Not be quiet.
Arcorian.
Arcorian.
Okay,
wrote it
I heard
down wrong.
Morkan. Okay, cool.
Arcorian.
I thought you said Orcorian, and then I was like, he must have said Morrican because he couldn't have said Orcorian.
Arcorian, the younger one.
Yeah.
Essentially they get into they move forward, they get into position, ready to take out the orcs on the turrets on your order.
Right.
Like essentially if they tried to get close, they'd be spotted, and if they just shot them, then the orcs would be like, oh, there's
They
things.
wouldn't know. Yeah, that's fair. Right. Right. What's your brother called? Morrican?
Morrikiel.
Morrikiel.
Morrikiel. Hold back behind the rest of the squad. Silas, Nafir, Morkarian, your front wave. As soon as the towers are down, storm in. Open the gates for the brothers to walk in. We will take this in one foul swoop.
And simultaneous, yes, sergeants, over the comms.
Yeah, I guess I'll wait till everyone's ready.
Yep.
I'm in position.
Efficient, quick movement, setting up within a few minutes of the order being given. Everyone is in position and ready to move.
Brothers, it is time to enact absolution. On my mark. Kill.
Okay. So, immediately, as you say kill, two resounding reports echo across the valley, across the area, where both. You know what? Let's just.
Yeah, let's have a look. I want to know. Dice tell stories, bro.
So this is going to be ballistic skill.
Let's
Okay.
see how the dice go.
Okay. Ballistic skill. Ballistic skill. 3 successes with a 6. Which I'm not sure if that means anything. On this API, apparently it doesn't. But maybe it does. Because I'm pretty sure I remember reading that it's like a crit or something, but that's fine. So immediately, both of the orcs on the turrets, on the signal to kill, both get beamed through the head. Like brains and blood splatter all over the other side, and both of them go nonsensical and just kind of fall out of these little kind of seats they have.
I charge forward with my trio.
Okay. As you start to charge forward, you hear this kind of like from inside, and what sounds so. You're used to the kind of human gothic speech stuff, but it sounds like someone shouting orders fairly quickly. So whoever's inside and in charge sounds like they're kind of on the, you know. And who's charging forward with you? Sorry, Nefil?
I'm for charging with him.
Maraban
I
and
can't. Whoever else.
Was it
Morrican?
Yeah.
Morrican. Okay. And the plan for you three is to climb
Open the
over.
door. Open
and
the door,
open?
didn't you ask us to?
I
Yeah.
ordered the door to be open so we can push the rest of our
Yeah.
forces in and
Okay.
strike like a lightning strike.
Okay.
The
So
towers were taken out so those three could get in and get us ingress.
okay. So I think in this instance, could you all three of you please roll me your athletics? 4 successes, okay. Pius, you got 2. Morrican, you got 5. Alrighty. I would say just about as Morrican has reached the wall, the other two of you are very slightly behind, but right on his heels. There is a humongous boom as the gates fly open, and War Boss. Apologies, I have his name right here.
Oh shit.
And
War boss apologies.
And War Boss apologies.
Kicks in. Sorry.
He's Canadian.
And War Boss Steelfist has kicked open the gates and strode out with around about 20 to 30 orcs who kind of spread out and start moving. So a few of them towards you three, and the rest just kind of out. And who would be?
I open fire with my bolt gun. Like when I see it's a group of them, I lay down like a harrying fire, just kind of across them. Immediately.
And I assume Maribin, you follow suit, like stopping where you are and starting to lay fire into the orcs.
Yeah, I would be fighting. I wouldn't be charging in like Morkan or anything like that. I would be up there doing what I was told, but like probably stopping in that entrance, right?
Yeah. In that case, could you please roll me your weapon skill, Morkan? Because you are close by, so the orc war boss is essentially going to turn around and take a bit of a swing at you.
Oh shit! Fuck. So he kicked open the door before we got a chance to open it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Weapon roll.
Weapon skill, please. Yes.
Weapon skill. So this is receiving a hit, or this is me hitting him? Because I don't want to just like, my job is to open the door. I wasn't gonna just like go and attack. As soon as I saw all of them, my thinking was grenade. But we can play this out however you want as far as rolls go.
Essentially, he's going to take a few steps over to you and take a swing at you. So if you for this weapon skill roll, if he does well, you'll receive a hit. If you do well, you will not only dodge the hits, you will be able to reciprocate in some form.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Are war bosses comparable in size? I mean, are they like
war bosses are bigger than regular orcs? Like essentially, this war boss is taller than any of you.
Okay.
And I'd say like head and shoulders above the majority of the other orcs here. Also decked out in heavier like metal armor and things like that.
The bigger the orc, the older they are, and the more senior they are. So he big, he old, he smart.
He's strong, Co. Yes.
All right, here we go.
Good luck. That's 4 icons, which are successes. The war boss will give you a roll.
Oh god.
That is 8 successes.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So
Oh no.
So essentially, as the war boss kicks open the gate, and the orcs kind of pour out, you all hear,
Ooh, who are these tin cans going around bothering my day?
and
so
then
half-played orc.
yeah. And then he turns around and sees Morkan just like off to the side, about to get to the walls, and says,
"Oh, little Umi, come here."
Clangs forward, and you kind of like, you spin around. You got your bolt pistol, you got your knife, and you kind of like spin round, probably like squeeze off a shot, which kind of pings harmlessly off the armor. And then you just receive a full backhand boosh as you get like thrown. You get thrown like away from the wall, like over a couple of boulders, and like kind of clatter and roll.
Oh no! Just boom, boom, boom. Oh,
and
come on then, if you think you're hard enough.
And as the war boss screams that, we will leave that there for today.
Ooh. There we go. God damn, I just got absolutely bodied. Fuck.
You're my chunkiest boy. Like, that's why you're in front, dude. Come on.
Oh my
just
god.
Watch. Gauntlet streams down.
Shit,
like
maybe we
confetti.
should give him his bolter back. Fuck.
So
You don't get that back till those confirmed kills. Are done.
Have a look here. All right. So, first up, as we do our outro, thank you very much to all 4 of these wonderful people coming here to be Space Marines with me and for me. It is very nice to have a little bit of orky goodness as well, because I do enjoy the orcs. So next episode, we'll see how they fare against the war boss. I'm guessing they're going to kick his ass, but you know, you never know.
It's about the how.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the how, not the what.
So very quickly, if we could go through our wonderful cast, we will start in the opposite direction as we did last time, which I believe is Maraban, and Rod.
Okay, I am Rod_Johnson on Twitch and Twitter and all those places. I stream random stuff, and I have a horror podcast called Murder Moose where we talk about random horror movies. So it's kind of where I am on the internet, and yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Wonderful. Next up is Brother Nephir and also Zachargus.
Thank you very much for tuning in to watch us kick more ass today, everyone. I'm Scoticus on all the internet places. You can find me on those. If you're like, hey, Scoticus there, just search, and if I'm there, I'm there. And if you want to see more awesome stuff like this, make sure you go check out the Patreon for the Wandering. And
we also have Sergeant Tyke here, who felt a little bit of humanity, and also Peachy Pixelate, who doesn't feel any.
No humanity at all. I'm a sociopath, so sorry, I'm a streamer. Same thing.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Peachy Pixelate. I also have a podcast called The Fully Rendered Podcast, which is about geek and gaming culture. I talk about Warhammer on there. To the chagrin of my other co-hosts.
Complaints, many have been lodged by them, just saying, please stop it. He keeps sneaking it in. It's quite funny when he sneaks it in and they don't realize.
It happens. I tried to put it on the thumbnails. And that is every other week. We do that live. It also will go up on YouTube a little bit later. And we've just launched our Patreon as well. So go check all that stuff out. Thank you very much for watching.
Yep. And finally, last but not least, except for definitely least, because he lost his gun, Morakan and also Goobers.
Yo, I'm Goobers515, Variety Caster on Twitch. You can find me Goobers515 pretty much everywhere. I don't have a podcast, but I do have a news show every Monday night. If you're watching this live, then you'll get to see that a little bit later. If you kind of drop by my channel, it is on Mondays. It starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time, where me and the wonderful The Rom Show go over the news in every week. And it's called RNG, and it's some of the news, some of the time. So make sure you guys come and join that. Otherwise, I'll be playing all sorts of weird games like Lethal Company and Jackbox. And starting on Friday this week, I'll be playing Elden Ring Crowd Control for a week, and my life is going to be pain. So that's me, Goobers515. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love being a Space Marine, especially being a meathead like Morakan.
RNG, by the way, I caught it last week. It's fucking hilarious.
Great, I'm glad you enjoyed
it's chaos. It's
fucking
not
chaos.
that kind of chaos.
No, we don't joke about that here.
Speaking about that kind of chaos, as a Zine shipper, hey, I'm Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. And yeah, if you enjoy the show, you can throw down a super chat. Although stream's almost over, so don't do that now. But you can also go check out the Patreon, link in the description, link to all of these people, their YouTubes, and also their Twitch streams or their Twitters, wherever they exist. The links are down there. As a sidebar, Rod, I don't know if you have a YouTube, but do give me the link.
I do. I could give it to you. Yeah.
I'll add it into the description for these episodes and forthgoing ones. I just couldn't find it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
But yes, Patreon is a great way to support. Basically, the more people pledge on Patreon, the more I'll be able to do shows. Eventually, we have goals for 2 shows, and then also for 2 live shows, and then also 2 live shows and an additional recorded show, additional stuff. I'm going to be doing as much as I can based on how much funding we have, pretty much. because while I love doing these shows, I do pay the cost, and I don't want to continually for the rest of my life pay out of pocket for them, because that's quite expensive. So give it a look, give it a thought, check out the website, there's lots of cool stuff on there, hopefully more stuff soon. Also, there's other things that are building up to, but for those of you who keep asking for merch, I have it in my plans, hopefully beginning of next year, quite early, that should be a thing. Past that, we can now, for the first time ever, because apparently I never enabled it, even because I'm a giant idiot, do super chats. First up, we have Goobers515, brother. Wait.
Brother, I have a mighty need for more Dakar.
He got it. He got it.
Well,
I really did.
Until a certain point. From Kaylee, we have, hi from Kaylee, Google Pay is being a expletive. I'm going to say bastard. Hope this works and good luck. It did indeed work. Thank you for the super chat. Commissar Chaplain Radk. Ooh, okay. Commissar and a chaplain. How do you feel about that, Nefo? Mr. Clean is a demon prince of Slanesh. Do with this what you will. That's true. He tries
Not
to
a question, just a statement of fact.
Damned man. Hello, this is the Inquisition. Has anyone seen an orc pretending to be a dark angel?
That's
a great one.
No.
We're all good here.
Next up is from Angry Potato. Angry Potato, thank you very much. Charlie Foxtrot, when? How fucking dare you? I just thanked you. Now how dare you? I have a plan to do something similar to Charlie Foxtrot. I'm not sure when, but I would. It's kind of like a combined arms 40k, multiple casts, and Titan legions and Mechanicus, Imperial Guard, Sisters of Battle, Marines, all that in like one battle. Kind of if you've seen Hell's Reach, a little bit like Hell's Reach, except for more. And Syrinx. So like, wait, should I do this in a Syrinx? So like. This is terrible. Where will the hammer be warring? I don't know. She's Belgian. She's not American, but that's the only thing I can do with an accent.
Belgian. I like how that was like a semi-apology for her. Like,
yeah, well,
she's Belgian. Don't.
If you're European, you know that the only people we have to apologize for more than the French is the Belgians.
They have chocomel.
Like,
They've given
is Belgium like the Florida of Europe? Like what?
Belgium is like so you have the US.
Get the fuck out of here.
So you have the US and how the US feels about Canada. Then you have Canada and how they feel about Quebec. That's kind of like Belgium. Belgium is like Quebec.
Got it. Got it.
And finally, from Angry Potato, what was it the Commissar felt that veteran Sergeant Tykar did not pick up on? He did not. He did not pick up on the fact that the Commissar had actually realized there was no way they could continue pushing forward, and to do so meant death. Therefore, he was not only expecting to be rejected, he was hoping to be rejected, and he felt relieved when his request was rejected. He felt he had to. He felt he had to ask, but was hoping that he wouldn't, be accepted.
I mean, that's commissar.
That's cool.
And that's why I asked for an insight, because it was a commissar, and that's not the type of thing a commissar should feel or put on their face. So it was very controlled and subtle. So yeah, dice roll. However, this is the end of the Fallen stream. Thank you so much for watching, and we have 4 more episodes. Tune in next week to see either Morrican killing or being murdered by a big orc. See you next time.
Fucking go, nerds.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Brother.